for meetings now. Welcome in 96.5 The Fan. You're listening to, I don't know, After Hours, Cody and Gold.
Mac and Drew.
Mac and Drew from 11 to 2 with JT Noah.
Right now,
We'll
the sweeper
steal the name.
Mac, Drew, and JT, so I'm going to throw myself in there, too.
There we
There we go. Mac, Drew, JT from 11
it.
to 2. JT Noah, Drew Nixon, myself, Mac Murray with you for the next 3 hours, and we are having some fun talking Jerome Tang. Of course, that was the viral video of him 3 years ago when they were on their way to the Elite Eight, and he was partying with his team to Lil Baby, and we just decided to open up our show with that. We're obviously going to talk a lot of Jerome Tang. First, though, some breaking news that Drew just insisted that we have to open up with. I said, dude, I think Jerome Tang's kind of the number one story.
I did not.
I think we kind of open up with this.
I'm going to come in here right now and say, Mac, you are lying. Me and Drew were like, we don't really have to talk about this.
And we absolutely do.
Yeah.
And you both know why. Tyreek Hill has been released by the Miami Dolphins. He's now an unrestricted free agent. So obviously the hypothetical conversations around the Cheetah have been had really since his departure. Maybe not since because they won immediate Super Bowls, but for the last 2 years and for the last year and a half, it's been a big talking point with the lack of success on the offensive side and their need to find something consistent in a wide receiver and in a wide out and wanting to bring back the best wide receiver in Kansas City Chiefs history in Tyreek Hill. And now it is officially done with hypotheticals. He's an unrestricted free agent. They could sign him for potentially, I don't know, we were talking about it out there with in the bullpen with Bank, who's already here, by the way. Bank's ready to go. Bank will be live.
It's been here since 9:30 in the morning.
I was about to say, did he even go home last night? Did he come stay here? I don't know.
Bank will be live with our guy Jackson Ogden from 2 to 5, so make sure you tune in to him.
There we go.
We are streaming live, obviously, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, on here, The Fan at 965. You can catch us and tune in on the Odyssey app. So we're going to talk Jerome Tang. First, though, Tyreek Hill, I want to know, 913-586-7965. Do you want him back to be a Kansas City Chiefs fans? Do you want him back? 913-586-7965 now that he is an unrestricted free agent. Drew, I know that you're just so passionate about this.
Oh yeah, I'm all in on this. You know, I want Tyreek Hill back in the worst way. No, the Chiefs should not want him back. I understand Tyreek Hill wants to be back here. But the Chiefs should not want Tyreek Hill back. Forget the payment. I don't even know if I wouldn't even worry about the payment. The type of injury that he just had would freak me out in an offense that was stale last year. And I understand that Matt Nagy is gone, but Andy Reid is still running the ship. You don't need Tyreek Hill in the offense. I don't think it makes sense financially, likely given what he's going to ask for. At least you're going to pay Travis Kelce. I don't know what that number is going to be to have him come back. I would assume at least at this point, I'm leaning that he's coming back. I don't know where you sit, Mac. At all in this.
Just broke a pen. Sorry. Continue and carry on.
But yeah, I don't think that he's worth bringing back. I understand the whole run it back nature of the Chiefs and all these other things. I don't think they should want him back. I don't think they should bring him back. And I think a lot of the consensus from the fan base, at least that we've talked about, is that they don't, it seems like it's been more heavily, we don't need him back. I don't want him back. There's no need for him to be back. Also, I understand that he is one of the Chiefs' best wide receivers, if not the best one in history. I understand
for
that.
sure. It's not even a question.
I understand that, but you don't need to run it back every single season with somebody else. I get tired of hearing that phrase of the run it back, bring it back, whatever it is. A major leg injury at the age that he is as well, I would stay away from that as much as I could. I'd rather spend the money elsewhere.
Yeah. Don't ever want him back.
The off the field stuff. I don't even.
It's a lot of different answers.
The off the field stuff to me doesn't matter as much because it's not like it's hindered the team in a way where he's been suspended, if you will. I guess from that nature of things, it is a distraction. But from the nature of it being a problem for the team and how it impacts their play on the field and personnel wise, it hasn't really impacted them as much as what they've had recently. Of course, with Rashee Rice, It's more of a on the field. Major leg injury at his age. Yeah. Is he going to be the same player? It doesn't fit to me.
That's my biggest question is he the same player? Obviously over 30, just had a gruesome leg injury. I mean, it was terrible.
Nasty.
Watching that live was awful.
It was like Tank Dell-ish type of injury.
It was terrible. I mean, bone protruding type stuff. And obviously a guy who's reliant on his speed, his athleticism. Who is he going to be when he comes back? I will say, he was an excellent route runner. He's a great wide receiver. He could be a guy who teaches an Xavier Worthy a lot of what he used to do. And now that he is a restricted free agent, you don't have to deal with that. The Dolphins are paying him $23 million to go away. He's going to have that money. If you could get him for 8 guaranteed with incentives up to 15, maybe 13, something like that, I know he's going to be vying for extra cash with his situation that he's put himself in personally. But yeah, I would consider it. Honestly, I'm intrigued. 913, bring back Reek. 913, no Tyreek. Yes, want him back, but I don't want another 5'9" speedster. Bring Reek home. I never wanted him to leave. No way. Don't want Hill back. On the cheap and short term, yes. No. Hell no. I mean, a lot of different answers. But yeah, he is known for speed, as the 816 says, and he's 30, and he just had a big injury.
I love this text from the 785. 3 Super Bowls, and you guys still think you know more than they do. Bring back 10. I have witnessed what they've been the last 2 years, and that's a team that got smoked in the Super Bowl and whose offense did not look good. And
yeah,
you think that Tyreek Hill is going to make this offense look better?
Oh, I think it could help. Yeah.
At his age,
yes,
and with the leg injury that he just had, you think it's going to be better?
I'd need to see him. I'd need to have him in for a workout. I'd need to see him run. I'd need to see him specifically do some drills. Like I'm not a coach. I don't know what I'd need to see him do. But I need to see him do a couple of things to make sure he's still some semblance of what he was. But yeah, I do think he would help this team.
I would rather you take somebody at 9 than bring Tyreek Hill back.
Just know Bink wants Jerome Tang over Tyreek Hill at wide receiver because he won't drop the ball.
Yeah.
I would rather
don't care that he has
would rather you draft a wide receiver at 9 than bring Tyreek Hill back.
Not in this class. No, not in this class.
I would.
I mean, I get where you're coming from.
You're saying you wouldn't take Carnell
Tate, Mekhi Lemon.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'd consider it, but not over necessarily like a cheap version of a veteran Tyreek Hill, and then you get another, you bring back Tyquan Thornton, and then draft someone in like the 3rd round at wide receiver. That'd be more mine. Then go defense in the first 2 rounds. That's just kind of me making that up, get a running back in free agency as well. I want to get my offense in free agency. I want to draft my defense. That's really where I'm at this year. And we'll talk about Chiefs throughout the whole show on and off, especially some of this Tyreek Hill stuff.
When is he even going to be available to play? Like when is he going to be able to come back?
These are all good questions.
I think that also is another part of the reason. 1, you're banking on him being able to be a similar type of player of what he is. And 2, are you even sure that you're even he's going to be good enough? And then is he even going to be able to, like, when is he back? I don't even remember when the injury was. Like it was about the middle of the season, wasn't it?
The 4th week.
But the leg injury was really early. The leg injury was so bad. Is he going to be ready to go in week 1?
Well, he'll try to be. I mean, I don't think he would be. I don't think he's going to be up to his Tyreek Hill speed echelon until probably the middle of the season,
or maybe ever again.
I think I know why people want.
That's the question.
I think I know why people want him back, and it's not even because of the whole like he's the best wide receiver in Chiefs history thing. It's because the last time they had Tyreek Hill, the deep ball was actually working, and people want to believe that it's going to work again, and people want to believe all of these other things. Where I'm not convinced as much that's the case. I do think that you bring Tyreek Hill in, he's the same type of wide receiver as what you already got. Like it doesn't. I understand it's Tyreek Hill, but at his age, and we see it a lot. We see it sometimes where guys get brought in. Hey, this guy was really good, at some point, but they're not the same player. And it, not that it's a waste of space, but you could have brought. It's a rental. I thought we were done with the rentals. Like a part of this whole new wave of this draft class and everything is to bring in the next faces of this team and going forward. You're not doing the rental thing anymore unless it's Travis Kelce for another year. I don't. If they bring back Tyreek Hill, does this change their opinion at 9? Does this change their opinion on drafting a wide receiver in general? Because I would be I would be really concerned if they brought Tyreek Hill in and then they don't draft a wide receiver at 9 or 40. I would be very concerned.
I wouldn't draft a wide receiver at 9 with or without Tyreek Hill. Personally, don't want to do that either way.
I think I would rather draft
40 and on. Yeah, edge is the way to go. Caleb Downs.
But if you bring in Tyreek Hill and then all of a sudden you don't address, like let's say they bring Thornton back as well. It's Tyreek Hill and Thornton and they don't draft a wide receiver. That's a big problem to me.
Yeah, Thornton's another one that I'd love to bring back as well. And when you mentioned the deep ball, like they had the deep ball working for the first 4 weeks because of Tyquan Thornton. They can do that again with Tyquan Thornton and Tyreek Hill and Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice and have everyone kind of doing their own thing, intermediate routes. I don't think Tyreek Hill, also we kind of pin him to this deep ball speed guy. This is a really good wide receiver. He became a great wide receiver in Kansas City, a good route runner. And we've seen a couple of texts like this. But again, I think if he's 70, 80% of what he was from a speed perspective, his route running capabilities and prowess as a wide receiver in technical terms he'll still be able to get open. Plus, he has the chemistry with Patrick Mahomes. I think on a 1-year cheap deal to help teach these young raw receivers that we do have and are trying to build, I don't hate it at all. I think it's an interesting move. I think it's something that's intriguing. We did a poll on it a couple weeks ago on Fesco and Dusty, and you'd be surprised, Drew. More people said that they wanted him back than not, and it's crazy. I get where you're coming from, but I don't know. I've flipped and flopped on this.
You know what? Hey, as a fan of another team, go ahead and bring him back. Go.
All right, listen, Drew.
Go ahead.
Drew, I don't want him back, and I'm not a fan of this team. Please, no.
Go ahead and bring Tyreek Hill back. Go on ahead. Get the band back together. Great. Go ahead.
Guys, we're getting the band back together. No, please don't.
I don't know,
Go
man.
ahead.
I think it's okay for on a 1-year deal. I don't think it's necessarily...
Why do we need another rental, though? I don't... Go get someone that you can rely on.
Use the money
you can still do
in
that.
better ways. Use the money in better ways.
Getting a veteran wide receiver is what we... I want Mike Evans now. I want Tyreek. Come on. What's going on?
I would take Mike
First
Evans.
Of all, rentals are the way the NFL works. Stop saying rental,
No.
get a 1-year deal. You're going to go get rentals. You're going to get a rental edge. You're going to get a rental safety. You'll go get rentals this year in free agency. That's what you do. Everyone's a rental. Everyone's on a 3-year deal. That's a rental. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I would take Mike Evans in a heartbeat over Tyreek Hill. I don't even have to think about it. Mike Evans, to me, I would take him in a heartbeat over Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, the fact that we have to even think about it. No, I don't want it.
Do you honestly think he would help coach the young wide receivers? I don't see that happening.
No.
Absolutely, yes, he would. He's done it before. No, I don't think that's true. We saw him and McCole Hardman become great. Now, did McCole Hardman become some great wide receiver? No, that's because that wasn't in him. Was he a usable, solid player in this league?
At this point in his career, I don't think Tyreek Hill, it doesn't do anything for the development of the wide receivers to bring him in. You're not bringing him in to help develop Rashee Rice or Xavier Worthy. If you're bringing him in.
Absolutely disagree with that.
So here's my thing about this, though, is if you bring him in and you're saying, oh, well, he's going to help develop these wide receivers, then how are we going to know if the wide receiver coach that you hired is even a good wide receiver coach that fits the scheme? Because then people are going to be like, well, you brought in Tyreek Hill. He was the reason that these wide receivers
there's always
going
to be a credit pie. And if the offense is good, all the credit will go to Andy Reid. So it doesn't really matter. I don't really care where the credit's going to and who's doing what. I just need the wide receivers to be good. And if Tyreek Hill's 20% of that or 80% of that, I don't give a rip. Chatty O'Shea and Tyreek Hill. Chatty O'Shea's, that's his job. If Tyreek Hill's on the practice field saying, hey, man, when you cut that route in, maybe do it a yard earlier when you see that wide or that cornerback take one step. But whatever he's teaching on the field, that's great. That's just a bonus. That's Chad O'Shea and Andy Reid's job. We're going to talk about this throughout the rest of the show. Tyreek Hill released. Of course, though, the number one story, number one right there, tied with it. I don't know. Jerome Tang fired, and K-State says for cause. We're going to talk about it. We'll have John Kurtz on later on in the show, 1 o'clock. He will be joining us. Of course, you can follow John Kurtz at jkurtz on Twitter, talking Big 12, talking K-State. We'll talk all about it here today. Jerome Tang, who's next for K-State right here, 96.5 The Fan, your home for K-State Wildcats.
You're listening to Mac Morey, Drew Nixon, and JT Noah on Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure what the best option is? Selling a home, especially when dealing with foreclosure, divorce, job relocation, or an inherited property, can feel overwhelming. That's why I don't just make offers. I help homeowners understand all their options so they can make the right choice with no pressure and no obligation. I'm Rex, a local homebuyer and resident right here in Kansas City. Whether you're looking for a fast cash sale or just want to explore your choices, I'll walk you through the pros and cons of selling to me or listing with an agent. If selling directly is your best move, I'll offer you a fair cash price and a closing timeline that fits your needs in as little as 7 days or on your schedule. No repairs, no commissions, no hidden fees. Just a transparent, hassle-free process so you know exactly what to expect. Let's talk. Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexspyskc.com for a free, no-pressure consultation. Rex Spies KC, helping homeowners make informed decisions with confidence.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens. No secret here. I am a golf guy, and I have to ask you if you're ready to ramp up the excitement because golf fans, BetMGM is making your next golf tournament winner bet even better with Second Chance. What's Second Chance? Well, you ever bet on your favorite golfer to win a tournament only to see them miss the green? Well, with this bet, MGM's Second Chance promotion will get you your stake back in cash if your tournament winner bet finishes in second second instead. That's right. Simply bet on any player to win a scheduled golf tournament during a promotional week. If you're right, you win. But if your pick finishes in second instead of first, you get your stake back in cash. Watch your favorite players go for the win all season long and bet knowing you'll get your stake back if they finish second. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Please play responsibly.
Hey guys, it's Rob Brennan from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the upcoming World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Dana and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch, KC features the biggest names who helped make the World Cup in Kansas City possible. And there was a lot of work, plus the major storylines heading into this summer's tournament.
This is so much more. This isn't just a podcast about soccer.
No, you're right, Rob. It's a podcast about Kansas City, for Kansas City, telling the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, along with video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
So make sure you subscribe. Download Beyond the Pitch KC with Rob Brennan and myself, Scott Parks, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-939-1441. 800-939-1441.
At the UPS Store, we know being a small business owner means holiday time is still go time. Still get those orders shipped time. And still re-up on stamps and supplies time. That's why this upcoming holiday, while others close up shop, we'll be open. And happy to help you keep being unstoppable. Come into your local store today. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable.
Kansas City, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can watch all your favorite shows right from your phone, computer, or tablet. Every day, we stream the shows live on YouTube, plus clips from the biggest moments and biggest guests. Hit that subscribe button so 96.5 The Fan goes right to the top of your feed. In your car, on your phone, or on your computer, we are everywhere. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Is there no way we can get rid of him?
Not without cause, Michael.
I have cause. It is because I hate him.
You heard it right there from our guy, JT Noah. JT Noah, Drew Nixon, myself, Mac Morey with you until 2 o'clock here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports. Came over last night, K-State firing Jerome Tang for what they say for cause. They've informed of him formally last night. The basis for the cause firing is language in his contract that references any activity that brings, quote, public embarrassment or ridicule to Kansas State. That comes from Pete Thamel of ESPN last night. Of course, now we have seen all the ripple effects, and we have talked about who they're searching for next. But first, Drew, I'll ask our college sports expert over here, how did we get here? Because this was a take just a couple of years ago that seemed like hot, but not laughable. And now we are laughing.
I don't want to, throw dirt on Bill Self, but right now in the current landscape of college basketball, there's an argument to be made that you'd feel more comfortable with Jerome Tang in the future of your program compared to Bill Self, who's struggling right now, but is having to do things a different way.
This was last year?
I think that came after. I can't remember if that was last year or after the Elite Eight run. Either way, this was just in the last couple of years. Where are we? What happened?
Well, I think that's part of the question that we're going to have John Kurtz on at 1 o'clock. Very few people in the know as much as John, if anybody. But so we're going to have him at 1 o'clock. I'm going to ask him the same thing because I think it's tough because you understand how they got to this point, maybe just in terms of the ebb and flow of what was the Elite Eight run, followed up by what has been the last couple of seasons where they've really struggled. They've spent a lot of money, of course, in NIL with Coleman Hawkins, PJ Haggerty, and it just hasn't worked out. And obviously, the way that things go in college sports is if you're spending resources, significant resources, evidently, because K-State has some money that they've dedicated to NIL, and it doesn't work, then we understand why Jerome Tang was going to be fired at some point. I will say that this whole, I feel, it's weird. I almost feel bad for Jerome Tang in this regard because K-State in handling it's just embarrassing. Like he had a chance to go to Arkansas. You said no, convinced him to come back. And that's the bed you made, and now you should have to pay him that. This idea of, well, it's for cause because he talked bad about our players. You need to wake up and pay attention to the rest of college sports in general or just society in general. Like the amount of times that coaches throw their players under the bus for a bad performance, which they've been bad this year, particularly on defense. They have not been good. Some of that, of course, is Jerome Tang, but at the same time, the players also have to execute in that. And Jerome Tang, finally, I think at some point, when he had that presser where he said he was mad and pissed off and all that other stuff, I think it had gotten to him, even to a point of they since he misses a free throw, nobody gets the rebound. The guy who shot the free throw catches it and dunks it. Embarrassing moment. That sent him over the top, and I understand why he got so mad. But
I'm like pissed.
Yeah, this concept of finding cause because they talked bad about the players in this language, I think is utterly ridiculous. And I think a lot of people are actually on that side of the spectrum of, you made the bed by giving him the contract. You should have to pay him the money. And if you don't have the money, sorry, you're going to be like Florida State and you can't fire your head coach and you got to deal with it for another year. I think that's they're finding an excuse essentially to try to get out of having to pay the money to Jerome Tang. This was Gene Taylor. So Gene Taylor had a presser afterwards. This is why they fired him for cause and also what ultimately led them to that decision. That last part, 100%. I understand where Gene Taylor is coming from with the last part of it. Is, hey, we had these expectations. The program hasn't gone where we've gone. But for you to say the ridicule that it caused for the program because of his comments, I think there was ridicule before the comments were even made about this program, that we knew Jerome Tang was probably getting fired. He was not the right guy for the job. And his comments were, I think, a coach that had gotten ticked off with the effort of the players. And he decided to reveal that publicly. And I thought there were more people. It was interesting. I don't know if there were as many people ridiculing Jerome Tang as much as maybe there was just the concept of, why is this becoming a big deal that a coach is getting mad at the players for lack of effort or whatever the case was. And you got to show up for a 6 a.m. practice, guys. Like, this is the way that it is. You guys played really bad. You don't deserve to wear the jersey. Maybe that was a comment that didn't need to be said, but
that was ridiculous.
I think that there have been times when, if you've played sports growing up, you get cussed out by a coach all the time for a lack of effort. Like, there have been times where you get sent home from practice if there's a lack of effort. Like, no, man, this isn't it. You're not giving effort. Go home and come back tomorrow. Like, you're not giving the effort. You don't deserve to be practicing. Like, I don't think that's uncommon. So the concept of they're trying to use that for cause to fire is a little bit ridiculous to me.
If it's contractual language, though,
and Jerome Tang's fighting it. Though. Jerome Tang's going to fight it because,
and he should.
But this is the thing: is that embarrassment to a program? I don't think.
It's vague.
How do you include that in? How do you include that?
Yeah, how do you define that? It's vague. It's probably vague for a reason, right? So we can kind of lean back on that in a lot of ways. Now, I will say
you made the decision to bring him back. That's on you. Like Gene Taylor deserves some responsibility in this as well. You gave him the money. You gave him the contract and it didn't work out. That's partially on you just as much as it is Jerome Tang not working out.
But what I'll say, and we'll ask John Kurtz about this obviously later on we'll have him on at 1 o'clock. But I'd imagine because they talked to Tang about this and it seemed like I've got to think that they're not paying him the full $18 million, but they're not paying him $0 either. Like they're going to meet in the middle here. And I think that's probably fair. Listen, because hey, to your point, if you want to talk like, hey, you signed this contract. Hey, Jerome Tang, like you didn't fulfill your duties as a head coach either. Do you deserve the $18.67 million? No, I don't think so. Do you deserve $0? No. Meet in the middle. Like, and if you want to say like embarrassment, we could define embarrassment. We could probably figure that out, and lawyers could easily do it. But being on part of the interruption and having, Wilbon and those guys go in on Jerome Tang on a random Wednesday isn't great. It's not awesome. It's not the exact spotlight I want on my program nationally, considering we're vying for any sort of coverage at all.
But 2 weeks ago, we were criticizing him because he wasn't being harsh enough on the team.
Thank you. Jerome Tang, it was the amount of people who were making fun of Jerome Tang for dancing, for doing the Wabash.
I hated that.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I hated that. That's ridiculous. I loved him dancing.
No. Oh, you loved it. Okay.
I hated the criticism. Loved him dancing. Loved him dancing. Hated that criticism. Didn't understand it.
Because I think that's
and I didn't know it was in the context of him not being hard enough on his players. Was that the context of that criticism?
I think of his comments about the players
of his dancing, because his dancing was just him having fun. That was just cringe criticism.
I think
more
that
than anything.
was
You're cringy.
It's embarrassing for you to have the season you're having and you're up there with the student section dancing after a win. That was the concept of it. But again, as a college basketball coach, a college sports coach, and college coach in general, your job is to sell the program. You are in a way a face of the program. When people think of K-State, they think of you are. Gary Patterson phrased this very, very well. College football is the front porch. College sports are the front porch of the university. People look at the sport at the athletic department, and that is the front porch. That's how we view universities in a large aspect of it. And I think that some of it, you have to sell your program. And if you've got to celebrate after a win with the student section, make it look like it's fun. It's a fun place to go to. Then I think that that's absolutely something you have to do. And,
I'm with you. No, the dancing was ridiculous.
But I think that's where it's either embarrassing for him to do this, but then when he's critical of his players, it's, well, you're being way too harsh on them. And I understand there is some middle ground, but I think we have to wake up and smell the coffee a little bit when in terms of how we discuss how we handle players and how we handle coaching. I think Jerome Tang does not hate his players. He does not hate, otherwise he wouldn't have recruited them. He doesn't hate his guys. He was ticked off that they were playing as bad as they were, and he decided to call them out on it. Now, in a way that maybe rubs some people the wrong way, I suppose.
He doesn't like his players. Said they don't deserve to wear the jersey. They're all his guys.
But I don't think that's because he doesn't like them. That's because they put up an embarrassing performance and have done it multiple times this season.
So did he.
He has pride for the university in a way where if you're going to wear this jersey, you need to be better than that. Jerome Tang has openly also said he needs to be better.
Yes.
Which I think, to me, that's why all the clamoring for him to be fired is accurate. But I think that's a funny text.
816, wake up and smell the Mountain Dew code red. More like Mountain Drew code red. Hey-oh.
No, but I think that you have to also understand that when you're coaching, especially like young players, and you hear college coaches talk about this all the time, there's moments like Kelvin Sampson looks pissed on the sideline. A player takes a bad shot, he'll literally wait. He will. We'll wave him off and sub him out immediately.
It's good stuff.
Nobody talks about Kelvin Sampson that way. I think that it's because he's losing, and that's what drives people the wrong way. But I think in terms of style of coaching, Jerome Tang has been consistent in how he acts, and that's all I think we can ask of people. And I'm not saying they need to keep Jerome Tang, but this concept of he needs to be fired because of the way he's acting as a head coach when they lose, I think is a bit bad.
The biggest thing to me about the reason Tang is fired isn't because of the way he acted. And it might be somewhat to do with his coaching, but I think it's because of how much NIL money they've put into the team the last 2 years and have not seen, I would say, the effects of that NIL money going there. I mean, you go and get Hawkins and you don't get to
And if you want, and
good point.
And JT, and if you want to say that's the reason for firing him, great. But pay him the money that you owe him per the buyout.
I'm telling you, you should pay him. He deserves his money. You decided to give him this money because you didn't want him to leave Arkansas.
But Jerome Tang decided to agree to a contract that had these clauses as well. If we're going to play both sides, I got to play devil's advocate there. If you're going to do the K-State did this, Jerome Tang signed a contract that had this vague wording.
But okay.
So
are you saying what is embarrassment to you? Because you could have said that.
That's great. Tang should have asked those questions and said we need some bullet points under that clause.
Because last year
they should have been fired him if we're talking embarrassment before the comments.
Absolutely,
they should have.
He's been embarrassing,
which is why I think the whole concept of firing him because of comment is it's just so bad.
And with Gene's comments last night, you heard him say, "Well, I wanted to fire him after Wednesday's game, but I was out of town." You weren't out of town. You were in that deep contract trying to find out where that cause could be to get him fired. If we want to talk about not bad coaching, but coaches throwing their players under the bus, look no further than UCLA. Mick Cronin is one of the best at throwing his players under the bus.
Oh, yeah.
A couple weeks ago,
throw the league under the bus.
A couple weeks ago, he goes, I recruited these players. I did my job. They got to show up on the court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
There's embarrassment in throwing players under the bus. I get he took the name off the jersey, but
that's high school.
It's a good one.
We went
that
from
is high
players,
school stuff.
We went from hey, he doesn't care enough to he's taking it too far. Like I do agree they won't go to court, and I think they'll meet in the 9 to 10 million range of paying him.
Yes, and that's fair.
That's fair.
It's great.
That's great, but. Tang deserves money. I'm sorry. I get it that you don't want to pay him 18, but he deserves half of that money.
Yeah, and I think that's what he'll get. That's the thing. Jerome Tang is not walking away with $0. Like he's gonna get a good portion of this money, and
I think he'll be a coach again in the next. And
5 I imagine
years.
He'll be at a smaller program in a couple of years, and he'll build it back up.
I don't know about small. I bet he'll be back into a Power 4 conference.
I think he'll go back to being an assistant, and then he'll find out.
So I think Baylor hinted at it. I don't know if you saw this, Drew.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, they hinted at someone signing papers after he was fired.
It looked like almost Scott Drew signing an extension.
There's been a lot of Jerome Tang stories that I've heard. So I don't know. I think they will, if they want to go to court. I think they could have cause. Who knows? There's been a lot of stories that could be counted as embarrassing.
Jerome Tang's going to fight it though.
All alleged,
I think he's going to end up getting paid because it's hard to enforce this sort of.
You think the full
thing.
18?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I doubt it. No,
if he
gets
the full 18, credit to him. But I don't
think
know.
I think he's gonna fight it, and he's gonna fight it all the way. And it's just a bad situation where, look, K-State, if you just pay him the money and be done with it.
You know what we should have done?
If you want him gone that bad, pay him the money.
We should have asked our guy Nathan Williams, who is in here, who is a lawyer, and we should have asked him about contract language because 913.
That would have
been great. I don't know why I didn't think of that till now.
If he's still here, he said he was hanging around.
If he's still here, we should talk to him maybe over the break because he's a lawyer and he could talk to us just about the basics of contract language because the 913 brings up an interesting text that I'd like to verify with Nathan. First, ambiguous language in a contract benefits the party that did not write it, and every contract has this kind of language. It's very hard to enforce.
Yeah.
Would love to ask about that. That does make sense. And to that point, maybe Drew's right. Maybe he could be getting that full 18.67.
What do they do next? I know that obviously is one of the big questions too. Like, who does K-State go after?
Exactly. So we'll talk about that after the break. Obviously, we'll be talking Chief stuff. Tyreek Hill released today. Do you want him back? We're going to blind rank. I'm going to give these guys 5 options because we all know the Chiefs need a running back later on. I'm going to give these guys 5 options. They're going to have to blind rank them, and then we're going to talk about, it's fun. We're going to talk, you guys too as well with the text line 913-586-7965. We're streaming. You can watch our beautiful faces as well. The Fan 965 on all social medias, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Stay locked in, talking Wildcats. Who is next after the stanky Tang left Manhattan? You're listening to 96.5 The Fan. You're home for K-State Wildcats.
You're listening to Mac Maury, Drew Nixon, and JT Noah on Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
This is Kevin Harlan, and I'm here with Rob Seid of Rob Seid Ford. Fresh off a record-breaking year and a successful run at Ford's 2025 Top Volume Award. Rob, how did you do it?
Kevin, it's simple. We pulled out all the stops on price, on trade values, on inventory, and made sure our customers got an experience they couldn't find anywhere else.
Well, the race isn't over. 2026 is here, and you're back in the chase again.
That's right, and we're going even harder this year. More inventory, more aggressive trade-in values, and a buying experience other dealers just can't match.
Well, you're not just talking, you've got the receipts. Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google, 4.8 stars with nearly 3,000 reviews. Voted best car dealership in Kansas City by KC Magazine.
The recognition matters, but what actually matters is how you feel when you call or visit Rob Site Ford.
Inventory, value, transparency, and no pressure. That's why people keep coming back.
Come see us at 135th and State Line or visit us online at robsight.com.
Rob Site Ford. Buy right. Drive happy.
Start your summer at the Lake of the Ozarks Marine Dealers Overland Park Boat Show, February 19th through the 22nd at the Overland Park Convention Center. The top marine dealers from the Lake of the Ozarks will be on site with the newest boats, personal watercraft, docks, and accessories. Step aboard, compare models, and find the perfect ride for your family. Special show pricing and experts ready to help make your boating dreams a reality. Start your summer at the Overland Park Boat Show. Visit lakeoftheozarkboatdealers.com for more information. Advent Health welcomes the KC Golf Show, February 27th through March 1st at the Overland Park Convention Center. Test drive golf's big brands, shop 100 exhibits, and swing and putt for prizes. Front door rounds of golf and tickets at kansascitygolfshow.com.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more, so you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
DQ presents The Spicy Menu. For a limited time, try the new Flamethrower Chicken Strip Basket for $6.99 with spicy, bold strips that heat you up. Served with a side of famous DQ soft serve as a dip to cool you down. That's right, dip those spicy chicken strips right into soft serve. Plus fries and toast, all for just $6.99. And add a new pineapple lemonade sparkler or cooler made with tahini. It's the limited time only Spicy Menu. Get it delivered in the DQ app. Happy tastes good. Participation may vary.
What's going on, guys? How you doing? 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports. JT Noah, Drew Nixon, Mac Morey with you until 2 o'clock here today on these wonderful airwaves. Make sure and tune in. Be in the text line, 913-586-7965. That is the number to the J Southland Tow Service text line, 913-586-7965. Of course, watch us on social media as well, The Fan 965, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. We're talking K-State. We're talking the Kansas City Chiefs, of course, as the most imperative offseason of the last decade of this Mahomes era is taking way, and it's taking way with a headline that dropped today of Tyreek Hill being an unrestricted free agent. We'll talk about that, the pros and cons of possibly bringing him back, what the money would be like. But Kansas State dropped a bomb last night as well. Jerome Tang fired, they say, for cause. We are going to have John Kurtz on, who he started his Big 12 newsletter back in 2024, called Open for Business, and he's great. He goes live quite often. He talks all things Big 12, but is really honed in on this K-State stuff, so we'll get the word from him and really some serious information, so good get there from our guy, Drew Nixon. We'll have him, and he'll join us at 1 o'clock, but I want to talk, we'll ask him this, obviously, but Drew, you've got some notes down. You've got some interesting next options for the Wildcats, who they could be looking for next.
So I took some time there was a lot of people that came out with stuff. It was Sports Illustrated, Busting Brackets came out with stuff. The Field of 68 also had some things like who could be next, because I think that obviously is one of the questions that comes after this whole deal. Jerome Tang's not the coach at K-State anymore. Who is going to be next? And I think one of the names, like I know you like
Shirts, baby.
Shirts.
Let's go.
Out of SLU,
I like
St.
pants.
Louis,
I like jackets.
the Billikens. Obviously, he's done a very nice job when he was at Indiana State. Now he's doing a good job with St. Louis. They're ranked inside the top 25. He's going to be he's the number one name out of any mid-major. I think a lot of K-State fans that I saw from the morning show with Logan, they were saying, like, Shirts is the guy that they should reach out to. I think that he obviously is going to be the number one person. Does he want to come to Kansas State? I understand the resources are a big part of the attraction of that. One guy that I actually have as number one, and there's a reason behind it in particular, is Casey Alexander out of Belmont. And you might say, well, okay, this isn't Chris Jans. This isn't necessarily a Kansas connection.
Go Bruins.
It's not Calhoun at Utah State. The reason I say Belmont is because Casey Alexander has a history of not the portal, but of developing talent. A very good high school recruiter, developing talent for what he has.
like that. That's huge.
15 years head coaching experience, so it's not somebody that's new. You're not going after an assistant like you did when you got Jerome Tang. It is a guy that has a lot of experience in college basketball as a head coach, Division I, been in the tournament, all these other things. I think that one thing that is appealing is the concept of him developing talent and high school prowess in recruiting and finding guys, because I think more so in football, but I think in basketball too, the concept of the foundation of a program is built through the players that you get from high school. And I think that's one thing that didn't work out with Jerome Tang is you look at what he spent in the portal. Just because you got the best guy in the portal doesn't mean it's going to work out. PJ Haggerty, one of the best guys in the portal. Abdi Bashir, very good shooter in the portal. It hasn't worked out at all this season. Last year, Coleman Hawkins, you spend all that money, $2 million, whatever it was. It didn't work out at all whatsoever. K-State has resources. Use them on talent at the high school level to come in and build that foundation, and then you can build through the portal to get a guy or two. Like that's, to me, the portal. Yeah. My viewpoint is the portal is to help you get over the hump and make you a contender. It's not your foundation. Like if your foundation is the portal, then you're restarting year after year after year, and you might have a really good year, like an Elite Eight run, and then you stink. And the portal hasn't worked out the last 2 years. I think it's a risky. It's risky where if it works, you look like a genius. If it doesn't work, you look like the worst team in the league. And that's what K-State's kind of looked like over the last 2 years. I think that's getting a guy like Casey Alexander, who is known for developing talent, use that money to get players from high school to come to Manhattan, have a good foundation, and have a coach that's good with developing those players, where I think you create a baseline for how good K-State can be, and then you go up.
I love that. How long? He's been in Belmont for a while now, right?
He's been there for a while. He's got 15 total years of head coaching experience at D1. So I like that concept as well.
No, I do like that. And so your take on transfer portal I like as well. So you're kind of saying, let's get the foundation. Let's get 5 or 6 guys. This is a good team together. And then,
recruiting high school players
recruiting
again.
Local high school players. And then, hey, we're just not getting the height around here. We don't have it locally. That transfer guy, I'm going to get the 7-footer who's a sophomore or junior.
Sure.
And then I'm going to get a 3-point shooter off the bench in the transfer portal. And that's going to fill up my team. That sort of thing. I like that. I think Casey Alexander could do that. And I love the Belmont kind of train, kind of riding that as well. So I think that's good. Both my brothers went to Belmont, so I'm biased. So
there you go. You know the school in Nashville, and of course, Nashville to Manhattan would be a change. I do think that there's like that's the direction I could see them going to. Is you're not going to get a Power 5 coach to switch off and go. I mean, I know people have mentioned Chris Jans, obviously the Kansas connection, Steve Forbes previously with the Kansas connection as well. He's done a good job at Wake Forest and Chris Jans at Mississippi State. But if you look at what they've done this year, they're having very similar seasons to Kansas State in conferences that are not considered as good as the Big 12. So are you just kind of repeating things? Like you're rinsing your hands off of Jerome Tang, but you're repeating that process. I think mid-major is the way to go. Shirt's obviously the name. A lot of people mention Casey Alexander, and then Calhoun at Utah State is interesting because he's done a great job since being there in Logan, and he's got 50-plus wins here over the last couple seasons. He's got 10 years of experience. So I like the idea of getting somebody that has experience from one of the mid-major schools. Speaking of Chris Jans, they want Jans. Sometimes it's not.
Chris Jans is a popular name there.
I understand, but I think there's some times when I understand that the whole connection.
Know if that would work.
I understand the connection to the university. I really do, and I understand it. If a mid-major hire that's a proven coach it works. Like I think that people don't understand.
816 says no mid-major hires. We need a proven coach. So therefore, a proven coach cannot be mid-major to this texture.
Which I think is a very interesting way to look at things. When you look at
because I don't think that's fair.
I don't think it is either because, I mean, you look at Todd Golden, by the way, mid-major hire from San Francisco.
Yeah, we've seen this
Won
work.
the national title at Florida. And yes, there were some connections to Florida from the court. Of course, he went there, played for Billy Donovan, all those other things.
Yeah.
I understand the connection to want to find somebody that's in Kansas, that's from Kansas, went to K-State, whatever. Brad Underwood, by the way, do not text in Brad Underwood, please. He's
That's not
coming,
happening.
He is not coming to Kansas
That
State.
is not
He's
happening.
Going
Why
there.
would he do that?
Yeah, I think most K-State fans know that.
Yes,
I think
he
yes.
is not going there, which is where I think, and to the 816's point here, there's a ton of players who never get recruited who would excel in college basketball and never get found. I think that's where somebody like Casey Alexander or even Shirts to this
Shirts
extent,
could do it too.
or
But
Calhoun,
yes.
getting that guy that's a mid-major where you're
Diamonds in the rough.
You're able to have more
Yeah.
success with less talent. That to me shows that you're a very good coach. And then what could you do when you have that talent? Like Ben McCollum, not quite working out at Iowa this season. They're fine. They're a solid program. Coming from D2, did what he did there, did what he did at Drake, and now he's coming to Iowa and is doing a solid job there. Like he's to upper half of the Big Ten. I think that's what K-State should be looking for. Find somebody that's good, does more with less, and then K-State, again, we talk about how much money they have in investing. You don't think that somebody like Shirts or Alexander or Calhoun can not only come in and help the program immediately from the coaching aspect of things, but also using that money get even better players? And then what do you think they can do with better players and more talent than they've had before? Like I think that would be a good move for Kansas State in finding a way to get somebody that's got a history of winning regardless of whether it's at a mid-major or a power conference.
So I got two names that I thought of while he was talking. I named Jan's last night in the text group that we had. But what about this? What about Kevin Keats? Was that NC
Bring him
State,
out of
ESPN?
Yeah.
He did well. Made him to the
Did more with less in some regard. Yeah,
Yep.
sure.
NC State. And then there's another name. I'm going all the way to Stephen F. Austin, head coach Matt Brower, who he's done very well with the Lopes. Now, not the Lopes. Stephen F. Austin is the Lumberjacks. He's done well with those guys over there. He's made it to the NCAA tournament a couple times. I think that name could also be there. I think going mid-major is the move. Now, will K-State do that? I don't know. Now, Kevin Keats, I guess, isn't a mid-major move, but he has been out of the league for. Is this his first year out or is this his second year out?
I think this is his first year out officially. He was fired last year, I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, and remember, he did what I thought with Les and made that nice run with NC State where they had the big guy, was it DJ something? Turner? Was it DJ Turner was his name? What was that big center they had that everyone fell in love with?
I forget his last name,
It
but
does
yes.
sound familiar.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
But
Zebo type of player.
Yeah. So I think he's done more with less at NC State. So I think they've got to find a way. What's going to be interesting is, remember, I know obviously UMKC is not on the level of K-State, but they just hired a head coach who's now wanting to do high school recruiting. That's how he's going to do it.
Yeah, with Turgeon?
Yeah, if you're going to bring in someone that's going to do high school recruiting, now you're going to have two coaches going at each other in the local ties of trying to get high school recruits.
And
if you're K-State and you're going at it with UMKC and you're not winning, that's a big problem.
Correct.
So that should not be an issue.
I know, but I'm just saying it's crazy. You're going to have two.
Yeah. True. I think
that should have already been happening. I'm glad that's happening.
Yeah.
We're having guys be missed here. So
to your point, JT, you got Wagler at Illinois. The KU and K-State, neither of them offered, and that man might go top 5 in the draft this year. So
exactly.
It is definitely a funny concept. For sure.
We'll be talking that throughout the rest of the show. Obviously, John Kurtz coming on at 1:00. You can find him on Twitter at jkurtz. He's the man talking Big 12 and K-State. So we'll have him on and ask him some of these questions about who possibly could be next and what's left in those contract discussions, that buyout discussions, really, with now fired coach Jerome Tang. They know they need a new head coach. Kansas City Chiefs fans know they need a new running back. There's lots of options. We're going to blind rank them next. Be a part of it, 913-586-7965. Stay locked in 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Mac Maury, Drew Nixon, and JT Noah on Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there. It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
Steve here with Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. February romance once again. Buy one toilet, get one half off. Who needs more jewelry? Nothing is more romantic than a beautiful toilet. Be original with your gift. What could go wrong? You know it's what your person really wants. So call Connolly at 913-768-7676 or visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
If you love seafood, pull up anchor and set sail for Hy-Vee's annual fish and seafood sale. Get a whale of a deal on all your favorites for Lent. Salmon, tuna, trout, and catfish. Seafood lovers shrimp, crab legs, and lobster mac and cheese. Eating seafood twice a week has major health benefits. Count on Hy-Vee to sell only the freshest seafood backed by the Responsible Choice Guarantee. All hands on deck for the annual seafood sale going on now at Hy-Vee.
One thing I love doing is going to Hy-Vee. I love going up and down the aisles and finding everything I need. But sometimes we're just very busy. With 2 girls in high school right now, we are swamped. So we use Hy-Vee's aisles online. I go to the Hy-Vee app or at Hy-Vee.com. I choose the store I want, I select my items, and then Hy-Vee does all the shopping for me. All I have to do is pick it up or, better yet, have it delivered to my home. So I'm going to save time and I'm going to save money. What could be better? Only at Hy-Vee.
In Kansas, truth is told in speed. Wide open, full bore, and no mercy. Season momentum earned 3 and 4 wide. Loud, intense, inches predicting outcomes. Blink and miss.
They bang sideways.
What just happened? Pure speed whipping across the plains.
Hell yeah, boys!
NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, April 18th and 19th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture. And then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Rocking and rolling here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Chiefs need a running back. This offseason, there are lots of needs. Running back may be top of the list. So really quick, just in a couple of minutes, I'm going to get your guys' 1 through 5. And then on the other side, we're going to discuss why that's your 1 through 5 specifically. We've got a couple minutes here before we got to get out of here. We're going to blind rank Chiefs running back options, okay? 913-586-7965. I want your rankings too. So blind rank them as we go, 1 through 5. You're not going to know what's next. Here we go. Hit the music, JT. Let's do it. All right. You don't know what's going on next, so you got to blind rank these, all right? Here we go.
Yep.
Tyler Algier. Tell me your rank and let me write it down so I've got your ranks, okay?
These are Chiefs options at running back for this upcoming season.
Tyler Algier.
I'll go be safe and do 3.
I will do 4.
Algier 4, okay. Draft Jeremiah Love, 9 overall.
In terms of best options?
You're ranking blind
what I would like
of running back Chiefs options. Yes.
Jeremiah Love's
this
number
is
one.
not hard. Okay.
One.
Oh, God.
This is why we're going to discuss it after, because we've got to talk about that, because that is not where I'd rank it. Keep going.
I'm putting 5.
Love 5. That I would agree with that, JT.
I'm going from a player talent perspective.
Breece Hall.
2.
Oh, boy. I think that's the best you're going to give me, so 1.
Okay, JT, or sorry,
oh, wait,
Breece Hall.
dang it. No, I know what I wanted. That sucks.
Oh, no.
I know,
oh, no. He's messing. He doesn't even know what's next.
The bag.
He doesn't even know what's next.
I know what's probably going to come next, and I'm going to be pissed.
Tyler Algier. Did I already say Tyler Algier? Okay, Rachaad White.
Well, he's the lowest I could put him.
Tough. 5.
So I think I got 3 left.
You've got 3 left.
I'll say 5.
Which I know who's going to be next, and I'm going to be so pissed.
I don't think you do. Maybe you do.
Okay.
So you said 5, Drew?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think you do, and I'm kind of upset because I maybe should have had this person in this list. I just said draft in 2nd or 3rd round.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, 2 is great.
4. Okay. I guess that's all I have left.
Okay. So, Drew, at number 1, you have Jeremiah Love. At number 2, you have Breece Hall. At number 3, you have Tyler Algier. At number 4, you have draft in the 2nd or 3rd round. At number 5, you have Rachaad White. JT, at number 1, you have Breece Hall. At number 2, you have draft in the 2nd or 3rd round. At number 3, you have Rachaad White. At number 4, you have Tyler Algier. At number 5, you have Jeremiah Love. We're getting a bunch of random numbers from the text line that I don't know what are associated with which thing I said, which
Someone
I love.
said
So
unranked.
We'll have to clarify. Wow, Rachaad White unranked. I think I'm one of the few Rachaad White lovers maybe left. So that's okay.
I like Rachaad White.
Well, I want to talk about these rankings and why we had these rankings. And who do you want for running back? Maybe I didn't mention one of the 5 options that you would have wanted.
You didn't, so I'm happy.
Let's go. Let's talk about it. JT's going to give us his favorite option, or one of them, on the other side. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan, your home for the Kansas City Chiefs.
You're listening to Mac Maury, Drew Nixon, and JT Noah on Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Football season is over, but there's still plenty to bet at Circa Sports. From pro and college basketball, hockey, and everything in between, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for futures on March hoops, props on your favorite players, and more, Circa Sports has you covered. Download the Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Stay warm and worry-free with Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. Get a new furnace absolutely free with the purchase of select HVAC systems. The pros at Hamilton make upgrading easy with flexible financing, expert installation, and energy-efficient options that can help lower your monthly energy bills. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee, are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Hey, it's Rob Britton from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And Rob, I'm Scott Parks from Dan and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC will feature the biggest names who made the World Cup in Kansas City possible, plus the biggest storylines heading into this summer's tournament. This is not a podcast about soccer. Don't get us wrong. This is a podcast about Kansas City. This is a podcast for Kansas City. And this is a podcast that'll tell the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes will be released every Wednesday starting on March 4th, as well as video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ's social channels.
Subscribe and download to Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series with myself, Rob Bretton, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impacts it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again. So call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
How you living? How you feeling? How are you doing? 96.5 The Fan. A wonderful day here in Kansas City on President's Day, and it is high noon. We're live until 2 o'clock with you. JT Noah, Drew Nixon, Mac Moore here with you.
We should have had like drinks or something like that.
Yeah, oh, there you're brought to you by Surfside.
No bubbles, no troubles.
Exactly right. So we just blind ranked some Chiefs running back options. I gave you 5, and you two, along with the text line and anyone watching on our stream, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, on the Fan 965, blind ranked with us as well. I gave you 5 options, and then this is going to segue us into what is the perfect offseason for the Kansas City Chiefs, because it's a big one. There's a lot of needs. There's a lot of things that need done. This was not a pretty product that was put on the field in the Super Bowl to end it 2 years ago, or all of last season in what was ended up being a 6-11 effort and a ACL tearing Mahomes over there late on the season. So I gave you these options. Jeremiah Love, drafting at 9. Get Breece Hall in free agency, or get Tyler Algier in free agency. Draft a running back in the 2nd or 3rd round, or get Rachaad White. None of those 5 were what JT wanted at his top. So JT, I ask you, was there a free agent?
Well, let me start with this. I'm actually very pleased with my blind ranking.
Yeah.
I loved what I did there. Rachaad White is the one I would take out of there because I think the best option is down in Florida, named Travis Etienne.
There we go. I love it. Okay, why?
That's where I was like, oh my god, because I would actually take Etienne over Hall because I think Etienne fits the system better than Hall does. I think Etienne can run those wheel routes. He can do a little bit of blocking system. He could be that McKinnon for us. That you didn't see.
I like that.
But I actually think Etienne is the best running back available if he gets out of Jacksonville.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate that. Yeah, I've got a bias towards Rachaad White, and plus he's not as big of a name. I wanted to put in a smaller name in there in the blind ranking. I'd be ecstatic if they got Travis Etienne as well. I wouldn't put him above Breece Hall, but I like that. Drew, you had Jeremiah Love at number 1. Do you think that should be the Chiefs' number 1 option after this blind rank? You've seen all 5 options.
Yeah. So I don't know if I would change Jeremiah Love from the standpoint of best options, as in the offense is going to be better off with it. I think Jeremiah Love is that dude. I think he will be very good, and that's why I put him at number 1, because I think it would be worth selecting him because of the type of player that I think Jeremiah Love will be. That's why I put him there. And then Breece Hall at 2. I think, you and I were talking during the break, and I agree with what your point is on him. And you know what you're getting.
He's
in
known.
Breece Hall.
Yeah, I know that he's good.
And I think that obviously is even drafting in the 2nd or 3rd round. I wonder, where would you be at with, like, if you were to rank these, Mac? Like, would you be weary of even drafting one in the 2nd or 3rd? Would that be low on your list because of the unknown with the draft? Like, would you rather have a Rachaad White or a Travis Etienne or Algier more than you even would drafting in the 2nd or 3rd round because of the quote-unquote potential unknown that you get in the NFL draft.
I need it to be an and. It is not an either or. If you are drafting in the second or third round, you have to get someone signed. It needs to be an Algier. It could be a Rashad White. That could be a lesser, an Algier for $4 million. You don't have to go break the bank for a Breece Hall. I say break the bank. It's not. That's why I think Breece Hall is the option, because running back market is so cheap. It's not breaking the bank. It's not $25 million for Alec Pierce. It's $10 million for a top 10 running back in my mind, and Breece Hall, and could be even better in a system that we're hoping is going to flourish again in Kansas City. I mean, there's not an excuse to not get an option in free agency. There's really not. If you want to even spend just a couple $1 million and actually play Brian Robinson, who was the number one running back in Washington, you got Rashad White, you got I don't like J.K. Dobbins. Kenneth Gainwell was okay. He's more of a pass catching back, but really there's 6 options. Like I named who did I just name? I named White, Brian Robinson. I'll throw in Brian Robinson. There's 2 options.
Algier,
Travis Etienne, Algier, Rico Dowdle, Javonte Williams, and Breece Hall. 6 or 7 options right there. There's no excuse not to get one of those guys.
Can we stop with the Kenneth Walker? Kenneth Walker's not leaving Seattle.
Yeah, that's why I didn't. I'm not mentioning him.
Yeah.
Not mentioning him. He's staying in Seattle as he should.
Now, my question to you two is this, and I know this probably more implies to Mac here because he is the Chiefs fan, obviously Drew's the Bengals fan, but but say the Chiefs haven't signed anyone before the draft. Are you now leaning more to getting Jeremiah Love at 9 if they haven't signed anyone?
If they haven't signed anyone, you've kind of cornered yourself at that point. I mean, that would be malpractice for me from a Brett Veach perspective. You did not do your job if you're walking into this draft with Rashard Smith and hopefully Kareem Hunt comes back as your running back room.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
That's bad news, Bears. So, no, you've got to get one of those free agent running backs. But then if you haven't, then I guess you've cornered yourself and Jeremiah Love's it. I just don't want to spend that much money on a running back because Jeremiah Love would instantly be a top 5 paid running back with that contract at 9 overall. And I want a known. I want someone known. Again, I want to draft my defense. I want to get my offense. I want to go get Mike Evans or a Tyreek Hill in free agency. I want to get a Breece Hall or a Tyler Algier or a Rico Dowdle at running back. And then go from there on the defense. Maybe a Bradley Chubb on defense as well in free agency. I don't know how much money they're going to have to spend. They're going to have to clear some cap. They're going to have to figure some things out. But that kind of brings us to the perfect offseason for the Chiefs. Drew, walk me through it.
So the blind rankings are separate from what I would do. I don't think...
separate that.
If my perfect offseason for the Chiefs does not include drafting Jeremiah Love at 9, I think you should sign an edge rusher in free agency. I don't know who it is. Somebody. Okay. I think I would draft a defensive lineman at 9 overall as well. And then I would sign a running back, Algier, in free agency. And then I would also draft a running back in the 2nd or 3rd round. That collection...
I'm in on that.
That would form the room. And I think that you can never have too many pass rushers. I think that is a common theme that we hear all the time. That's why I would sign one. I would draft one. And then in the 2nd round, you address whatever the biggest need may be, whether it is, this offensive lineman could be the future at such a position, fine. Or you want depth at the position, fine. Or you want to take a wide receiver in the 2nd round. I think those are all good options. And then you take a running back in, say, the 3rd round. I think that might be the money spot for the Chiefs, is that 3rd round pick where you take maybe 2 defensive linemen in the 1st and 2nd round. I don't know, but I think that you can never have too many edge rushers. So they should sign one, draft one at 9, and then I would sign a running back and then draft one as well. That, I think, encompasses a very good offseason for the Chiefs if they were to go that route with free agency. Of course, they're going to do other things as well, but that would encompass the main issues they need to address, I think, with this offseason.
JT, walk me through it, buddy. I know we got Travis Etienne.
Yeah, so you're getting Travis Etienne in the offseason.
Yeah, okay.
Then when it comes to the draft, my perfect offseason would be Bailey falls to 9. Now,
dude, me too.
Somehow,
some way.
I want that so bad.
I still have hope it happens. We've seen players.
Would you trade up?
I wouldn't trade up for him.
Okay.
I would not. I would stay at 9.
Yep.
And if, honestly, here's the thing, and I might sound crazy for this. If Bain and Bailey are gone, I think about trading back. Trade back a little bit. Fall back a little.
Okay.
And then you grab another 1st round draft pick. So you get a 1st round and another 2nd. Fall back. Then you draft a defensive lineman that you thought you still could have got later in the draft. Get him. And then you go another running back in the 2nd round. I think you go 2nd or 3rd round running back. I also think you could go with, I think what needs to happen, and I know I'm in the draft and I'm throwing myself around now, but I think you need to get another leader in the secondary. I think that's what hurt the secondary last year was you didn't have Justin Reed. Everyone wanted to criticize Justin Reed and I get it, maybe he wasn't the greatest, but he knew how to keep players lined up.
He did.
had a lot of miscommunication and misalignment last year in the secondary and left people open.
So
would that make you want to draft Caleb Downs if Caleb Downs is there at 9?
Bain and Bailey are gone.
But that's the thing with Downs is, do you think Downs can be a leader for this secondary to line up?
That is one of the big trademarks, I think, of his profile. Is
Absolutely, he can.
He is a leader. He can run a defense immediately.
Okay.
I think if Downs is available and the pass rushers are gone, I think they should take Caleb Downs and not even think twice.
Well, Caleb Downs would be great. But I just...
You think it'd be better off trading back and taking Keldrick Falk or Peter Woods if he slides, or Zion Young if he keeps on moving up the board.
Zion Young would be a great one if you could trade back from 9 and fall back to, say, 24.
Caleb Downs was, I believe, the only rookie to start in the Saban era at Alabama. He was the last Saban class. And then
he went to
Ohio State and was the captain and was on the coin toss for the national championship in one season. He was the guy out on the middle of the field for the national championship. He was there for one season. That's how big of an impact he had on those guys after transferring there. So I think Caleb Downs, you're looking for a leader. I think, as you said, Drew, Caleb Downs is that guy.
He has been mocked every year that he's been mocked inside the top 5 up until this year a little bit because it slid off, but he has been recognized basically as pound for pound the best. He might be pound for pound the best player in this draft, period, point blank. Any position.
Yeah,
Caleb Downs is a top 3 player. He is a top 3 player in this draft, I think, and he's been considered that. That's one of the amazing things, too, is he didn't just come out of nowhere. He's been regarded as that dude for like 3 years now, and he still is considered that dude. I think that also is part of the reason why you cannot, you can't go wrong. I understand you love an edge, and safety is not a position of need, but you're going to hit a home run with Caleb Downs, I think, for the type of player that he is.
See,
safety's a need. I don't
exactly. Yeah.
Is it a first round need? I guess is the
first
conversation.
round
compared to some of the other issues that.
This team needs a safety.
We talk about Downs. Downs can also play maybe on the inside of a slot if you need to.
The guy can go all over.
He's
blitz.
Spags would be salivating at the thought of having Caleb Downs. Yeah.
Here's my thinking of the secondary, because you're not going to keep. I don't believe you keep both McDuffie and Watson. I think one's going to be gone, and so then you're down a corner.
See McDuffie. Yep.
Yeah. So I just. The secondary needs some help. I think you got to go address the secondary, whether that be with free agent or whether you guys do takedowns. I would prefer maybe you sign a veteran and trade back at 9 if both the edge rushers are gone.
Yeah, I'm okay with trading back too. But if Caleb Downs is there at 9 and both edge rushers, I'm getting Caleb Downs.
You want Caleb Downs?
My perfect offseason is similar to you guys. I'm not drafting Jeremiah Love, that is for sure, and I'm getting one of those free agent running backs. If it's my perfect offseason, I'm getting Breece Hall. Like right now, it's as soon as I'm legally able to do it, I'm getting Breece Hall. I'm getting a free agent pass rusher as well, someone cheaper. It could be Boy May from Seattle. It could be Adolfo Owe. It could be Khalil Mack. It could be probably not Trey Hendrickson because of the money. But
you consider Chubb.
I'd consider Chubb if it's around $10 million. Consider Joey Bosa maybe for a year or two. Some sort of veteran edge rusher as well. That's what I'm going to do.
Joey Bosa was a beast for Buffalo.
He was against Kansas City.
Okay, that's fair.
Legitimately, because I had an argument with my brother about it because the point was our offensive line was dog water. Joey Bosa looked way better against us than he did really against anyone else. He was still a good player. I still would like him on Kansas City, but he looked like Joey Bosa against Kansas City. He's not 2019 Joey Bosa anymore. I'd get Mike Evans. Perfect offseason. I'm getting Mike Evans. I'm then drafting one of those edge rushers at number 9 if neither of those are there. Preferably David Bailey as well, JT. If he is not there, which I don't believe he will be, then I'd get Caleb Downs 1,000,000%. From then on, I'm drafting a running back in probably the 3rd round and getting another edge rusher or something like that in the 2nd round as well. And we are getting as much defense as we can. But I want to get Mike Evans, an edge rusher, and a running back. At that point, you're walking into the draft with your offense is at least at a solid point. You've got Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, the hopes of Jalen Royals. If we're talking perfect offseason, maybe you re-sign Thornton as well. But then you've got Mike Evans. You draft one as well, or draft a wide receiver. Now you've got 5 wide receivers. You've got your running back in Breece Hall. You're walking in with a good offensive line and Mahomes back. And now you can stare at the draft and say, okay, I can go for best player available rather than need. Okay. That's what I want to be at.
My one question for both of you is, none of us actually address what we would do with McDuffie in a perfect offseason. So what would perfect offseason be with what you would do with McDuffie right now?
I wouldn't give him an extension, but I would keep him.
You'd keep him? Okay.
Yeah, I would absolutely keep him. I don't think I might be on the other side of this thing because a lot of people think that he's not as good, but you don't get rid of all pro players, in my opinion, for hoping that you can get another one. To your point about Breece Hall, we know what Trent McDuffie is. He's an all-pro.
My one
I don't think
question
you
is,
get rid of all
you
pro
say you don't
players.
get rid of all pro players, but you traded Snead away.
Yeah, you
Snead was
traded
an all-
Tyreek Hill, you traded Snead. I think you have to trade all pro players. I don't think that's a all or nothing rule. The Patriots were a dynasty because this is what they did. Year too early, not a year too late. It would be sad to see McDuffie go, but I'd trade him.
I think the rest of the AFC West would beg for you to trade Trey McDuffie in a heartbeat.
And Brett Veach will draft another corner just like he did this year, and Noah Williams.
In the first round? Because to me,
not in the first round. He didn't draft Noah Williams in the first round. Didn't draft L'Jarius Sneed in the first round.
But
didn't draft Travaris Ward in the third round. In the first round.
Williams is not Trey McDuffie, and L'Jarius Sneed was good, I think, because of Trey McDuffie.
Noah Williams might be better than Trey McDuffie.
Here's my question, though, is I think it comes down to, do the Chiefs think they're going to get enough for McDuffie in a trade? If that comes to fruition, then I think they keep McDuffie. I think they know what their value is with McDuffie, and I don't think they want to get lowballed. Where we thought we were getting lowballed for L'Jarius Sneed, when people were fans like, oh my God, we're getting lowballed for L'Jarius Sneed, and look what's happened.
Look what's happened. I think, I don't know. If people around the league think the way Drew thinks about McDuffie, which they do, then you need to trade him because he's overrated. He's still great, but he is slightly overrated. He is. He's not.
Think he's overrated? Wow.
Listen, we don't have time, but we got to go. We can talk about this on the other side. He's not Christian Gonzalez. He's not. He's not Derek Stingley. He's not those guys. He's talked about in that echelon. He's not. He's not 6'1". He's not as physical as those guys. He's not as good of a tackler as those guys.
But
he's a slot corner.
He can take. He stopped Jamar Chase from being good. I think to me
he's a top 10 corner. Let me be clear. He is a top 10 corner. He's a top 10 corner in the NFL.
Now here's where I'll go. If they trade Trey McDuffie, I'm just telling you, the rest of the Cincinnati Bengals, please trade Trey McDuffie. Please. The AFC West is begging you to trade Trey McDuffie. Please. Jalen Watson had his moments of being great.
You're acting like Trey McDuffie is Darrell Revis. He's not.
There were
Drew.
moments
He's
where
not.
Jalen Watson was barbecue chicken last year, and we, particularly against the Dallas Cowboys and other moments. Go ahead and trade Trey McDuffie. The rest of the AFC West will thank you. They might pay you to get rid of Trey McDuffie.
Yeah, okay.
Here's the
absolutely.
Say,
Then pay me, please. You're acting like he's Darrell Revis. It's ridiculous.
But I don't think you're going to get 2 first-round picks for him like what the Jets got.
No, that was a bad trade.
Okay.
Yeah.
But people are like, well, if you can get that for Sauce, you should be
won't.
able. You
won't. You do not trade all pro players, especially at positions like cornerback, where they can shut down the number one player like Amon-Ra St. Brown or Jamar Chase and have shown it on a regular basis.
But
Drew, you can get somebody like that. You don't do it.
So here's my thing. I'm with you, Drew, on I would like to keep McDuffie, but with your argument, my argument is in they traded L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah, no, he keeps saying that they don't. No, you do that. No, every dynasty ever has traded their best players. That's what they've done. Not their best player, but they traded really good players. That's what you have to do. It sucks. They should have traded Chris Jones. They should have traded Chris Jones 2 years ago. I was wrong, Drew. I was pining. I was beating the table to sign him. I was wrong.
So here's my issue with you say the best players. So the best player on offense is obviously Patrick Mahomes. But on defense, is it McDuffie the best player on the defense?
No, it's still Chris Jones in my opinion.
Whoa. Wow. Okay.
No, absolutely.
Okay, all right. I would think McDuffie's better than Chris Jones at this point right now.
If you're
talking just overall, I'm talking 1 year basis.
If we're talking about
he's 28.
If we're talking about getting rid of your All-Pro players, then they shouldn't have paid Trey Smith. They should not have paid Nick Bolton.
You're right. I didn't want to sign Nick Bolton. I didn't want to sign Trey Smith. I'm with you, Drew. You're preaching to the choir, brother.
But also I think that's crazy to not pay for them to not. I think that's a little bit. I don't think you get rid of those. Like the Nick Bolton thing is whatever. Nick Bolton's not an All-Pro. I think you keep your All-Pro players. You keep your All-Pro players because we saw what happened when your All-Pro offensive linemen started to go down. Mahomes started getting skittish. We've seen what happens when your All-Pro players go down.
Now the All-Pro linemen were full healthy. Actually, we've had offensive line issues with those 2 All-Pros being healthy the majority of the time, 95% of the time. Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey have been on the line, and this offensive line has been bad. They've had struggles. So don't talk to me about the All-Pros. They haven't been. No. They've had issues with those 2 guys there. The best center and a top 10 guard. Healthy, Drew. No, it's not the way this works.
They have a top 10 offensive line.
I agree. They're going to have a great offensive line. It's not because of those 2 All-Pros.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's because they just signed the best left tackle in NFL football. They drafted him in the first round. That's what they did. They got the best left tackle in football starting in 2027, and that's a take there.
So when Josh Simmons
is a take there, JT.
So when Josh Simmons is an All-Pro next year, you would rather them trade him? Because
he's a left tackle. I think there's certain positions. Left tackle is the second most important position in football. We can just continue this discussion. We shouldn't just stop this. Let's continue this on the other side. Let's talk Chiefs offseason.
We're going to stretch the break out to be a little bit longer.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk Chiefs. Let's talk some Royals on the other side. We've got John Kurtz coming on at 1 o'clock. I love the fire in this room, baby.
Unbelievable.
Football offseason is here. The takes are flying. Be a part of it. 913-586-7965. Please watch us on the socials as well. Everywhere. The Fan 965 is the handle. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan. It's your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Mac Maury, Drew Nixon, and JT Noah on Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Hey guys, it's Rob Brennan from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the upcoming World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Damian Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC features the biggest names who helped make the World Cup in Kansas City possible. And there was a lot of work, plus the major storylines heading into this summer's tournament.
This is so much more. This isn't just a podcast about soccer.
No, you're right, Rob. It's a podcast about Kansas City, for Kansas City, telling the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, along with video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
So make sure you subscribe. Download Beyond the Pitch KC with Rob Brennan and myself, Scott Parks, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Start your summer at the Lake of the Ozarks Marine Dealers Overland Park Boat Show, February 19th through the 22nd at the Overland Park Convention Center. The top marine dealers from the Lake of the Ozarks will be on site with the newest boats, personal watercraft, docks, and accessories. Step aboard, compare models, and find the perfect ride for your family. Special show pricing and experts ready to help make your boating dreams a reality. Start your summer at the Overland Park Boat Show. Visit lakeoftheozarkboatdealers.com for more information. Advent Health welcomes the KC Golf Show February 27th through March 1st at the Overland Park Convention Center. Test drive golf's big brands, shop 100 exhibits, and swing and putt for prizes. Front door rounds of golf and tickets at kansascitygolfshow.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-939-1441. 800-939-1441.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
You already listen to 96.5 The Fan, but are you following us? Our Instagram is loaded with show clips, breaking news, mock drafts, and content you can't get on the air, like Thy Royal Decree and Chiefs Take Tuesday. Go to Instagram, search for The Fan 965, and hit that follow button. If you don't do this immediately, Dusty has threatened to do a photo shoot in a bathing suit. Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. You're listening to Mac Maury, Drew Nixon, and JT Noah on Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Clogged drains? Call your service tech from AB May to keep your plumbing systems running properly. From drain clearings to sewer line repairs, we deliver reliable solutions with unmatched care and professionalism. Right now, we're offering a $59 drain clearing special. Trusted by generations of Kansas City homeowners, AB May is committed to doing things the right way every time. Call 913-732-9993 or visit abmay.com.
Call your serviceman from AB May.
today?
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause 30 told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust in Limu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Here we go. 96.5 The Fan. You are listening to JT Noah, Drew Nixon, and myself, Mac Murray. We're live until 2 o'clock. We're live with John Kurtz at 1 o'clock, baby. Big 12 podcast. He is got it all going on. Open for business. I was watching him live yesterday talk about this Jerome Tang stuff and the AD situation, firing Jerome Tang for what they call cause. We'll talk to him about that, maybe the other options of who's next, who's going to be the next Kansas State head coach of their basketball team. So we'll talk about all that with John Kurtz. You can find him on Twitter at jkurtz. You can find us at Twitter at TheFan965, as well as Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Watch us on Twitch. Watch us anywhere. We were just talking passionate, heated discussion. I mean, I'm gonna fight Drew. Apparently, the text line. Me and him are throwing hands. JT, I think you'll be umping
at
the
6
fight.
foot,
yeah, exactly.
145 pounds, a welterweight.
Yeah, exactly. Was that you? Was that your size? Is that your?
Yeah, dude. I did. I weigh 140 pounds. 145
no, you do
pounds.
Not.
Dead serious.
Really? Good for you. That's actually that's awesome. I mean,
I'm still considered a healthy weight.
Yeah, that is nice.
Skinny.
That is
healthy.
nice. That is very nice. My like 165, 170 pounds. And I'm like,
shredded.
Yeah, I wish. Okay. We've been talking Tyreek. We've been talking Kansas City. What our perfect offseason really is. Trading McDuffie became kind of that discussion as JT asked us promptly. Would you? What are the benefits? What are the pros? In this perfect offseason, you've got to make some room. You've got to find some money. Is Trent McDuffie that place to trade someone and get some assets back and get some younger players? Drew, you say passionately no. JT, you're also saying no, correct? To trading McDuffie?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I think you can get rid of Tranquil. You can get rid of Taylor on the offensive side. You can find ways to make space without trading your best corner.
So you mean in terms of like a cap?
With the cap money, yeah.
So I want to get some things clear because I said a couple of things that the text line disagreed with before we went. One of which was Chris Jones is the best player on our defensive side of the ball still. You guys both definitely disagree with that.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't.
So can I say one thing before you rebuttal? Can I say one thing to back that statement up?
Yeah.
Chris Jones's position is predicated on having someone else next to him. McDuffie is on his own. Now, obviously, there's safety help, there's things, but when he's in man coverage, we're watching Trent McDuffie guard Jamar Chase, as Drew looked an example of, and we're watching him get burned by Cortland Sutton on a go route. Whatever we're watching him do, we're watching Trent McDuffie by himself on his lonesome. Chris Jones, you're watching get double teamed. You're like, why can't Chris Jones do anything? Well, it's because he's got George Karlaftis, the courageous king, doing nothing a step late, a second short. You've got a bunch of no-names, Dana, Nadi, Aminahue.
Yep.
All these guys next to him doing absolutely nothing. So in my opinion, Chris Jones being top 5 in pressure rate, Chris Jones being top 3 in double team percentage has a lot to do with the fact that no one else is around him, and they just get to focus on what, in my opinion, is still a top 5 defensive tackle in the National Football League.
I don't think you're wrong in the fact that he is still that dude.
Yes.
But I think that you can look at what Trent McDuffie does, and maybe it's just because I look at it a little bit differently from the outsider lens of he has shut down my favorite team's best wide receiver, who's considered the best wide receiver in football on a regular basis.
He does do well
against
against
Jamar Chase. Shut down
Chase.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. I feel like, and yes, we know he struggles with the bigger body wide receivers. CD, George Pickens, Cortland Sutton, those types of guys. I think that that doesn't mean that he's not an all-pro. That also doesn't mean that he's not a top 5 corner just because he's not as good as Stingley or Sauce or Pat Surtain.
See, I think he's better than Sauce.
It's close. It's close. I mean, they're in that tier too.
But I think that's my standpoint is Chris Jones is still that dude. That is no disrespect to Chris Jones. I just think that there is a debate to be had, conversation. I'm not saying it's vehemently, Trent McDuffie's better than Chris Jones. I think they're equally as good. And to your point, the reason why people don't think that Chris Jones is as good this year is because the numbers dipped a little bit, or he's getting double teamed all the time, which I think is also part of what makes a great player that respectable. I think is when you're getting double teamed and you're still effective at the rate that Chris Jones still was last year, minus the actual sack numbers. Because I think a lot of people they like the sack stuff. But if we know that Chris Jones is still pressuring at a elite rate, then he just isn't getting home. But if he's still pressuring, we know that pressures can cause bad throws, pressures cause incompletions, pressures cause interceptions, whatever the case is. I think that they're both equally as good. I wouldn't trade Chris Jones or Trent McDuffie. If you had to ask me, they're the pillars of the organization. I think that they are very important to this defense and how good they are.
See, I look at it as Mac was underselling McDuffie, because I think McDuffie, in a way where you say Jones is predicated on having others around him do his thing to show that he's that good, and the double team rate is what makes him so well, which is why he's received to be so good, because he gets double teamed at a high rate. If you look at McDuffie, the reason people don't throw at him is because they respect him and they know what he'll do. He shuts down those players. So I think McDuffie is better because of the sense of he shuts down those wide receivers on, I would say, almost a week-to-week basis. There was a couple games last year where he did get beat, and there's no...
Last 2 years now.
I wouldn't say last 2 years.
Okay.
Last year was for sure some weaknesses in it.
I mean, okay. That's fair. We're being nitpicky. 2 years ago, Cortland Sutton got the better of him for sure. But I get you. I mean,
you're calling Cortland Sutton. Okay, you got one wide receiver got the best of him.
I get you. There was that guy that I can't remember his name because he was a no-namer for the Panthers 2 years ago as well. If you really want to go at it, because I do remember this 2 years ago.
Leggett?
No. A guy who's been in the league for a minute, and I didn't know his name. I'm like, this guy's 29. I don't know this guy. He's burning Trent McDuffie. The Carolina Panthers 2 years ago.
Mingo?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't Mingo. This is an older player. This guy, I got David Moore. David Moore burning Trent McDuffie. Anyways, carry on. I think it's in the last 2 seasons. Carry on.
But
David Moore, 31, burning Trent McDuffie.
Burning? I would love to see.
I'm looking up this game log, bro.
I got to see this. Game log. I got to hear this game log.
I'm looking up this game log.
Because this is wild. He's going to pull it up, and we're going to believe him that David Moore was always against McDuffie. But yes. But I would also say I didn't think any of the defensive line was relatively good last year. You saw a lot of Chris Jones just walking around, not putting effort out there.
There were some moments like that.
Yeah. I mean, we can obviously point right at the Jacksonville game.
But he's next to Scrubs.
I wouldn't call Karlaftis a scrub.
He's mid. Karlaftis is fine. He's Mike Dana in his prime.
This is great.
I mean, he is.
Save that and please, can you just save that?
I will save that.
Please.
You said that he's Mike Dana in his prime.
He's prime Mike Dana. That's what we're paying George Karlaftis as the 15th best passer in the league. He's prime Mike Dana. Okay. That's what I've seen.
All right.
He's got no moves. He's got no speed. He's not particularly great at anything. He doesn't have good footwork. He can't.
Mac is Bink on Simmons levels right now, where he's hating Karlaftis.
I'm just over here laughing. You go ahead and cook. You go ahead and cook.
I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Have you seen him put together 3 moves in a row, 3 different moves? Does he have?
I'm
he has
with you,
zero
I don't pay
bag.
attention to the defensive line that much.
No, he runs around.
Yeah, because his motor's good.
Oh, great motor. Oh, first guy in, last guy out. Lunch pail type of guy.
Polo guy.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I'm over it. I'm finding this David Moore stat line, but
Mac is having a hell of a time right now with this defense.
I want to make sure we get some Royals talk in today. We've got a few minutes.
So wait, so you can throw shade at what, Boobage?
No,
and
hey,
Reagan's
no,
now?
actually, and listen, I am optimistic about the Kansas City Royals right now. I actually am. I released a Max Minute video. You can find those on our social media pages Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll release one today for Max Minute about Kansas State, but. Where are you guys at with the Royals? Because I'm actually segueing here to MLB just for a little bit.
Like, what's their ceiling, or what? Like, what do we think they can be?
Like, let's just say, what's their ceiling? I like that. Where do you think they could get to with the roster they have right now? Let's talk about Jensen Kaggs. What is this team's ceiling? I think their over-under is it 82.5 wins, JT?
I believe so.
I think it's just over 500. 82.5 wins, I think, is where they're at. Okay. So what is their ceiling to you right now?
I mean, I think that somebody mentioned, I don't know who it was. I think it might have been just MLB put out the projected starting lineup for the Royals. And somebody had said, this lineup could either win you 100 games or 70. And you're not really sure which one. I think when you look at just the way that the lineup is, the ceiling is the way, if we're looking at ceiling, this is Kaggs working out. This is Carter Jensen stepping in and being effective. This is Vinny having a good season. Everybody's healthy. The rotation is solid. The bullpen is very good. I think they can win the division and make a push to the divisional round, potentially even, the championship series. If we're talking ceiling, if all of it comes together and they're fully healthy, and if we're talking peak performance for this Royals team, they can make the divisional round, potentially even push for the championship series. I think if all the things hit, because we've had Vern on Coney Ingold, you guys have had him on. We're starting to have that as spring training is here.
We're here, baby.
I get the sense that if Kaggs being an important part of it, Carter Jensen being an important part of this, Isaac Collins, Lane Thomas being an important part to help make the season that the Royals could have, because we know what Bobby can do. We know what Bobby's going to do. We know what Vinny can do and all these other things. If they all put it together, I think they can win 100 games. I think that is in the cards potentially with the complete roster that they have.
Yeah, like there's a couple what ifs, but if those ifs go the right way, like Jensen and Caglione, all of a sudden you're talking about a different Royals team. JT, what's the ceiling for you?
My ceiling's the ALCS. That is the ceiling.
I love it.
I don't think they're a World Series team. By no means, but I think their ceiling could be to get to the ALCS.
Okay.
To me, the most underrated part of this team going into this season that's not being talked about is that bullpen. you have what you could call the off-brand great value HDH in a sense with Strom, Urseg, and Estevez. But the problem I'm having with saying that they're HDH is back in the day when you had HDH, you could run those three out there night in, night out and give them a 1 day break in a week, right? Nowadays, you don't want to throw the same arm 2 days in a row. And so what's going to happen when you've thrown those three guys 2 days in a row? Who are you going to lean on in the bullpen in a close game? So that's my one concern when it comes to the bullpen. But I think the bullpen is the most underrated part about this team that's not getting talked about because I think they've bulked it up. And guess what? They've got those gems. And everyone wants what they've got. Those starting pitchers. They've got a klove of starting pitchers. And I just saw a report that Berger is working on another off-speed pitch to throw into his arsenal.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So if he throws another off-speed pitch in there and you've got him under control, I'm telling you, you've got enough starting pitching where you can find someone who's going to be willing to overpay for a starting pitcher come near the trade deadline. So as I do believe the moves for this offseason are done, I still think they're going to make a move or two before the trade deadline in the regular season where I think they will get an outfielder. And I think that's going to push them to get to the ALCS. I don't see them winning the division. I see them as a wild card team.
That was my next question. Okay.
Wild card team getting through to the ALCS because I have the Detroit Tigers in the World Series.
In the World Series?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're all in.
I'm all in with Tarek Skubal. It's ride or die with the Tigers this year because Skubal's gone after this year.
Exactly. So they better be all in as well. And I think a separate discussion, but I think most teams should probably be all in if you have some semblance of a chance because 2027, we may not be watching a lot of pro baseball in 2027. No. That could be all gone. So
for the 816, if the Royals win 100 game drill, I'll pay your rent for a year.
Hey,
wow,
deal.
Wow,
take
deal.
that. Can I be in on that? Jesus,
I'll take that.
That's
deal
awesome. Yeah, I mean, 100 games is a lot. I do get where the 816 is coming from.
That's actually an 18 game boost from where they're projected.
Yeah, but hey,
huge.
Again, if we're talking ceiling.
No, I get what you're saying.
We're talking ceiling. If I had to predict, I think they win over the 82 and a half games. I don't think they get to 100, but if we're talking, what do I think they do? I think they can. I mean, what do we think wins the division?
I think 89 wins the division.
Yeah, probably high 80s, low 90s,
which is why I think
wheelhouse.
I think they can win. If I had to pick what they do this year, I would feel confident saying they can win the division because I think they can get to 90 wins.
Yeah,
I think they can get there.
I think the division's definitely an aspiration. That's something this is winnable. That should not be like, well, we can't win the ALCS. No, like they absolutely should be up there with the Tigers because you mentioned the bullpen, like you're talking about Tarek Skubal, like the Royals have starting pitching too. Like where are you at with Cole Reagan's confidence meter?
On a scale of 1 to 10?
Yes.
7.5.
Okay. It's better than me, but I like the rest of what's behind Reagan's, which still makes me confident.
I'm actually more
pitching.
confident in Reagan than I am in Lugo.
Okay.
Because
I agree with that.
I think Lugo can take a step back.
Because of the injury?
Of the injury, and also because, remember, Reagan's can throw the ball past people. And so he can use his velocity. Lugo works with finesse and stuff to get it by. I think
he's like painting corners and things like that.
And I think with the new ABS system, it could hurt Lugo in a sense, where some of his pitches that he thinks are a strike, and the umpire thinks it's a strike. Oh, wait, ABS says that's a ball. And then you see a couple walks that you wouldn't have happening. So I think Lugo could take the step back and Reagan's could come back to the front.
Where are you at? I'm trying to find something.
On who? I'm reading this text.
Okay.
And I know I want to read it too because it's funny. For the 913, hey, you dweebs.
I'm a dweeb.
What makes you think that the Royals are going to be better this year? We did not do anything differently. We will have the same record or worse.
Yeah, I think a lot of
Dude, I haven't been called that in my life.
Hey.
I don't think actually.
Hey, dweeb, come here, little boy.
Yeah,
So I think people are upset because they didn't make that splashy outfielder move.
Yeah, you wanted Castellanos, you wanted a spot, you wanted Bichette, you wanted something, you wanted a big name, you wanted someone you knew.
My thing, and I heard Vern talk about this. I don't know if it was on one of your guys' show or it was on the drive, but what was the big name that the Royals needed that actually was moved?
Exactly.
Maybe you could say, I guess.
Vern talked about this.
Tucker.
Yes.
Okay. You really thought you were going to get Kyle Tucker? Absolutely not. You knew you weren't going to pay for.
Never going to do that. Stop.
You didn't need Bo Bichette.
And there's 7 or 8 other teams in the same position as the Royals who are looking for this guy who didn't get it.
Right.
It's not just the Royals. Those guys aren't out there.
I thought the Zerba trade was a beautiful trade because you traded away what I thought was maybe a good reliever, not a great reliever, and you got 2 players back for him. And 2 that could be helping you in the major leagues this year. And so I really like Isaac Collins. He was 4th in the NL Rookie of the Year last year.
Yes.
For crying out loud.
Yes.
I like it.
He's
So I think
consistent. He gets on base.
Right.
That's what we need
And
right
I
now.
think Strom is better than Zerpa. So I thought that trade was
I'm
great.
not a Zerpa guy. Yeah.
So I thought Strom coming back, who already knows the Royals organization
Strom being
well.
back, I think, is very encouraging.
Yeah, so,
that's nice.
So I get it that people are upset because you didn't get the big name outfielder, but it takes 2 to tango, and you weren't gonna. There was no way you would have been happy if you gave up Reagans for Duran.
Here's why I'm extremely confident in the Royals before we get out of here, because I want to talk some NBA All-Star, and we've got to, reset this Jerome Tang stuff because we've got John Kurtz joining us at 1 o'clock, and I'm really excited about that. We're going to talk all things Jerome Tang and find out some more information about what's going on with the Wildcats and what's next for their basketball program. Is this the year Bobby Witt breaks through and wins the MVP? Aaron Judge is 32-ish, 33. He's right there, starting to go down. He's a bigger guy, bigger body. He's going to start to stiffen up a bit. Bobby Witt is entering his prime. He's 25, 26.
I think this is the first year where not necessarily. I don't want to say expected, but
25. Okay,
but I think that this is a year where you could pinpoint. Okay, the team is going to be better. We all think the potential for them to win the division is there. More eyeballs, even more so, can be on the Royals with how they play. I think obviously the team performance has a little bit to do with it. But I would say, yeah, I think this is a year where he can absolutely win MVP. I know that for all the reasons that you said, along with him just putting together another elite type of season.
And that would be you're talking about ceiling 100 wins, like
if
that's in the
Witt,
exactly
100%. I think that also
you know
is
what I'm
part of
saying.
it. We're talking ceiling, then yeah,
Bobby Witt could win MVP.
Bobby Witt MVP,
and they're winning
absolutely.
90 games with him having an MVP season, and then you count like Jensen and Kaggs become solid pros throughout the season. Like you're winning, 100 games starts to become more reasonable.
So I saw a silly question on Twitter, X, whatever we want to call it, that someone was asking: is it more likely we see Bobby Witt win MVP this year, or Bobby Witt actually have a down year this year? And I thought it was a silly question because I thought he was going into his prime. And so I was like, I
he's
think
25.
That's a silly question. But then I thought about it and I was like, well, the expectations are so high always for Bobby. What is a down year, I guess, for people to say, oh, he had a down year?
Yeah, I think that maybe it's more realistic, I guess, for him to have a down year because people's expectations are so high, I guess, from that standpoint. But I mean, if he hits 5 less home runs, has an average that's
if he hits 5 less home runs,
that's 0.2 worse.
In the new stadium, that's a problem, actually.
I agree. Yeah, with the fences and everything.
So you don't even let's say he hits the same average and all these other things. If he has 5 less home runs, then it's disappointing.
I wouldn't say disappointing, but I think it'd be kind of like a little side eye, like we moved the fences in, but how are we hitting 5 less home runs?
Yeah.
Because I think what we will see happening is the triples will be down. And that should not cause concern because now the fences are in, you can't get the ball into the alley where you get around the bases.
Yeah, the way this ballpark will work will be much different.
I would expect actually home runs to be up, but his triples and doubles might be down. But if his home runs are down, I would actually kind of give it a little bit of a side eye.
I'm going to get, so I know we're going to have bold predictions, I'm sure, at some point. My bold prediction, I think, is that Vinny's going to hit 40 homers this year.
Woo, let's go.
Is that because he's your Vinny insider?
No.
Okay.
I think that even though Vinny's great.
He's been a popular name as far as guys who could explode this year as well. Like, is this the year he really figures it out?
With the fences coming in, I think 40 is a bold. I think 40 is bold. And I think I roll.
He's gonna hook that corner. I'm telling you, he's gonna love that corner out there.
Let's see here, just real quick. 40 home runs on DraftKings. Let's see where Vinny Pasquantino lies. Bobby Witt plus 500. Vinny Pasquantino plus 550. And then for awards, you want to bet Bobby Witt Jr. to win the MVP
plus 1,000.
Plus 550.
Oh.
He is in second place behind Aaron Judge, who's 2-1 or thereabouts. The NBA All-Star Weekend was this weekend. The 3-point contest. All the things happened. We're going to talk about how it was, how it went. I thought the games actually yesterday weren't the worst. We can talk about that. Plus, tanking in the NBA. Steph says, is it really that big of an issue? We'll have John Kurtz on at 1 o'clock to talk all things K-State Wildcats and Jerome Tang. Stay locked in. JT Noah, Drew Nixon, myself, Mac Morey with you till 2 o'clock. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan. It's your home for the K-State Wildcats.
You're listening to Mac Morey, Drew Nixon, and JT Noah on Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well?
I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
I hope you're sitting down. The ACA Marketplace has announced significant increases on monthly premiums, with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Matt B. and KC at BBS Insurance's Freedom of Choice plan now. You don't have to wait. Their plan lets you use any doctor, has zero outpatient deductibles, and is 30 to 60% lower cost than most Obamacare plans. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you're a small business owner or pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Matt B. and KC for an instant quote over the phone. 816-205-4664. That's 816-205-4664. Or go to bbsinsurance.net. That's bbsinsurance.net. They will customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government.
If you love seafood, pull up anchor and set sail for Hy-Vee's annual fish and seafood sale. Get a whale of a deal on all your favorites for Lent. Salmon, tuna, trout, and catfish. Seafood lovers shrimp, crab legs, and lobster mac and cheese. Eating seafood twice a week has major health benefits. Count on Hy-Vee to sell only the freshest seafood backed by the Responsible Choice Guarantee. All hands on deck for the annual seafood sale going on now at Hy-Vee.
One thing I love doing is going to Hy-Vee. I love going up and down the aisles and finding everything I need. But sometimes we're just very busy. With 2 girls in high school right now, we are swamped. So we use Hy-Vee's aisles online. I go to the Hy-Vee app or at Hy-Vee.com. I choose the store I want, I select my items, and then Hy-Vee does all the shopping for me. All I have to do is pick it up or, better yet, have it delivered to my home. So I'm going to save time and I'm going to save money. What could be better? Only at Hy-Vee.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
We're going into battle with this type of music. Drew Nixon, Mac Morey, JT Noah. This is the Mac and Drew and JT show.
Whoa,
on
should have played
96
this last break when you guys were coming back from the McDuffie bar.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a walkout music.
Our war music.
So one of the things that Mac and I love so much, I think JT also is interested in the NBA, but Mac and I love the NBA. I'm from Indianapolis, as you know. I'm a basketball guy. So it's the best sport. It's the best sport ever created. But NBA All-Star Weekend was this weekend, and one of the things real quick I want to get into with the games, you and I both agree the games were actually a lot of fun. I thought
really surprisingly good.
We got what we wanted, which is players trying hard. I want to thank Wemby for that because I think Wemby has really taken
Dude.
He's really taken ownership of the
Yes.
face of the league thing real quick. This is what he was asked about being the face of the league and if he takes some ownership in that. Put that on a t-shirt.
Oh.
But I think to
I'm here
an
to
extent,
supply.
he initiated the I'm going to try hard in this game, and then Ant answered the bell. He was asked about it, and Ant goes, "Hey, when Wemby came to play, I'm coming to play." And then Kawhi was absolutely insane. I don't know how he didn't win MVP, but it feels like this was a good overall All-Star weekend. The dunk contest, not as fun, but Dame being back, winning the three-point contest. It felt like the weekend to be a celebration of the game. I think that's what it's supposed to be. It was nice to be able to see the effort being made from the players. It's always been more of the players than on Adam Silver, in my opinion, at least, to initiate effort and all of those
I think
things
you're
for
right, man.
entertainment.
I think that's a great point. I think it's something that I was starting to think about just really like last night, like because we were kind of having this in the dock of just like face of the league isn't necessary for the NBA to have a face of the league, and I always was like, no, we need to stop doing that. Just let stars be stars. Let it. But you're right. Like
I think so.
I think so. And I think to your point, it's like the face of the league's the responsibility is to set the tone. To set the tone of like, hey, we're gonna like Victor Wembanyama. Hey, like I'm gonna stay after practice and we're gonna open it up to fans and we're gonna practice our chants. For the game.
Sure.
Like we're gonna have chants that we do, like soccer teams, like high school teams, like teams that really care about each other, that have unity, like colleges,
pro teams in Europe for sure. Yeah,
like absolutely, like that's a thing. That's what happens. So Victor Wembanyama saying in this All-Star game like that he's gonna try and he set the tone, and to have your best player or one of your best players be the guy who's doing that and have him be 19 or 20 years old. Yeah, I think that matters. And if that's what the face of the NBA is, you're right. The league needs that, and it's really good that it's him. He takes pride in it. He cares about basketball. He cares about his city and his team in San Antonio, and he cares about the league. I think he wants the league to be the best it possibly can. And boy, is he trying to make it, because he's a phenom. He was incredible last night. He was amazing. Kawhi Leonard, we mentioned off the air, 31 points in a quarter, I believe it was.
Yeah, just insane.
That was right. I started watching
and everybody's
late.
playing hard.
And everyone was playing. It
know.
was perfect. You don't need to. We play basketball. We're not NBA players, but we know like you can play
Pick
hard
up, but be
like
more
I'm not
intense.
hurting myself. I'm not hurting you. But we're still playing 80%. I'm still running. I'm still trying.
100%.
Like I loved it. It was exactly what we needed. Like I'll give Adam Silver a little bit of credit on that as well. Like this was a solid format. It worked out. This was good.
This was good. The All-Star game was good. Dunk contest needs a revamp or even taken away.
3-point dunk. I'm out. I'm just so out.
I think the 3-point contest was very good. I actually like the shooting stars concept of bringing in a
3-point
legend and
contest?
doing that stuff. I think it's all about the stars, though. Like I think that's the I think that's part of the issue is that we don't have players that are recognizable to a casual fan doing the dunk contest.
Like,
I think that's part of the
dunks weren't great either.
Yeah, Jackson Hayes should never be be doing that.
What was Jackson Hayes doing?
As Reggie Miller said, he was doing dunks that guys do at LA Fitness.
I mean, yeah, what dude? He posted that thing of the Michael Jordan flying
that
through
was
the air.
disrespectful.
Like,
that was
I know he's
disrespectful.
probably trolling and it's funny, but like, no.
Yeah,
Stop
You
that.
let a guy that pushed over a mascot in the dunk contest. How are you feeling?
As I said, Max Minute the other week, no one over 6'4" in the dunk contest.
On the flip side of it, one of the other things that was tanking related, we don't have enough time to play the Steph Curry cut because we got to get to John Kurtz.
Yeah, we can talk about that later.
But tanking, we definitely are going to get to later. I think it's something that we all recognize as a problem. Honestly, the NFL kind of has a little bit, but to a much lesser degree. Baseball has some of the issue, but to a much lesser degree than that of the NBA. When we come back, John Kurtz is going to join the show. We're talking K-State, Jerome Tang in the situation. How did they get to this point? What's next? All of those things with John Kurtz next, right here on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to Mac Maury, Drew Nixon, and JT Noah on Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Midwest winters take a real toll on your garage door if it isn't ready. Let Overhead Door Company of Kansas City come out and perform their 14-point tune-up on the garage door and 12-point tune-up on the opener. One price covers 3 garage doors and openers. The work is guaranteed. Overhead Door Company of Kansas City, trusted here since 1927. Call now to schedule your garage door tune-up, 816-221-0072, or schedule online at ohdkc.com. ohdkc.com.
Hey, it's Rob Britton from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And Rob, I'm Scott Parks from Dana and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC will feature the biggest names who made the World Cup in Kansas City possible. Plus, the biggest storylines heading into this summer's tournament. This is not a podcast about soccer. Don't get us wrong. This is a podcast about Kansas City. This is a podcast for Kansas City. And this is a podcast that'll tell the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes will be released every Wednesday starting on March 4th, as well as video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ's social channels.
Subscribe and download to Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series with myself and Rob Bretton on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
If you're trying to get through your daily activities and you're noticing you can't because you're focusing more on your pain than being able to enjoy the moment, those are the patients that we're looking to treat because we can make a difference.
That's Dr. Ashley Caravelli, a medical director for QC Kinetics.
What we're doing at QC Kinetics is offering treatments that help with joint preservation. We use cutting-edge technology in our in-house lab to harness your body's natural healing powers and target the areas where you need them the most.
These are regenerative, non-surgical treatments, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader, delivering lasting relief to tens of thousands of patients.
What we do know is that the sooner we start treatment, the sooner you'll see relief.
So don't wait another minute. See if you're a good candidate for these non-surgical treatments for joint pain. The consultation is completely free.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
Football season is over, but there's still plenty to bet at Circa Sports. From pro and college basketball, hockey, and everything in between, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for futures on March hoops, props on your favorite players, and more, Circa Sports has you covered. Download the Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all your favorite shows. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
We are back for one more hour. Drew Nixon, McMorey, JT Noah producing the show. Joining the show to start off the hour, John Kurtz. He's been on the station before. He's got the Open for Business newsletter and podcast. You can see it on YouTube, KC Sports Network. John, thank you so much for taking the time to join the show. I'm going to get right on into it. Obviously, the big news from yesterday, Jerome Tang out at K-State. Just if you can give us a little bit of a timeline, how did we get to this point? Is this just a culmination of what's happened this season, or is it over the last couple of years, the disappointment since that Elite Eight run that they had just a couple years ago?
We got him on the air.
For me.
Oh, there we go.
Sitting here and thinking about it. Oh,
hey, John. Sorry,
okay.
we couldn't hear you at the beginning. Can you restart there? Sorry, John.
No worries. No, I appreciate you guys having me on. I would say it's the culmination of things, and it's the part that's crazy and a bit surreal to me is just how rapid the descent was here. Because you mentioned it, year one was a really high going to the Elite Eight, and all the publicity with Marquise Noel and the lowdown, the song, the dance that they were doing, like all that stuff, created such a whirlwind of hype, and Jerome Tang had built up so much goodwill at K-State. He was such a popular and beloved figure, not just with the fans, but media, administration, like kind of everybody involved, and it deteriorated very quickly. I think one thing to point out here is that there was a lot of drama throughout the time that Jerome Tang was the coach, and that started in year two when the Naquan Tomlin situation happened, and there were a couple of issues with him. It turned into a real battle with the university president. Eventually, Naquan Tomlin was kicked out, and that was a big issue. That team then went to the NIT. They were still a bubble team. Felt like they would have been a tournament team with Tomlin for sure, and so there was still a lot of support for Tang after that season. That's when he flirted with the Arkansas job, which is what produced yet another contract extension, which upped this buyout to $18.7 million, which put K-State in the position they're at now. So even after year 2, when he didn't make the NCAA tournament, there was still a ton of support there. Like, everybody involved at K-State, I think, was cheerleading the fact that he was staying and not going to Arkansas. But, man, the last 2 years, Jerome Tang was given 2 years ago top 5 to top 10 NIL money, and this past year top 15 to top 20 NIL money. And obviously the results have just been horrible, and that soured people very quickly. I think there are a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that rub people the wrong way, and the combination of, I would tell you, my opinion is I think Jerome Tang's ego got the best of him after that first year, and that's been a big part of what happened and how this fell as rapidly as it did, and that has turned a lot of people against him quickly when the winning wasn't following. There were some things I think that people were putting up with more, just the general attitude and some of that you put up with more when a guy's winning. When he stops winning, that all flips on you pretty quick. And obviously it got to a point where it was untenable after not just 2 of the worst 7 home losses in K-State history within the past couple of weeks, but some of the comments that were happening in post-game press conferences afterward that kind of turned the school and Tang himself into a bit of a punchline.
Yeah, John, it feels like there's so many parts to this story. Obviously, the results alone, as you laid out, were, reason enough to maybe fire him. And then you have the press conferences, and then this happens. The bombshells dropped, and they're trying to fire him with cause here, John. So talk to me about what's happening here next, because it feels like that's going to maybe be the biggest part of the story. Jerome Tang obviously going to try and fight for that $18.67 million. It's not 0 or 18, right? We're going to find something in the middle.
I think that's overwhelmingly likely, yes. And, we've seen this happen before. This is a pretty common deal. Texas Tech is a recent example. I can remember, for instance, where Mark Adams, when they fired him, they tried to fire with cause. He was supposed to get like a $7-ish million buyout. They settled for like $4 million, just if you're looking for a reference point there. LSU tried to do this with Brian Kelly recently. That didn't work out, so it's not a guarantee that it would. But I think K-State feels like there's even more beyond just what Gene Taylor has said publicly, which was the comments after the Cincinnati game. I think K-State has kind of taken the PR hit there, and they feel like they have more of a case. I still will tell you, I don't think it's like some slam dunk case. But if you let it go all the way through, if there's like a discovery period where then you go digging around and things become public, I'm not sure either side would really want that. And I don't know that either side wants to pay legal fees to let this thing keep going forever. So I would imagine that you're probably going to wind up seeing a settlement here. It'll just be a question of how much does Tang wind up giving in. I think he'll still get a lot of money. I think if you're K-State, you got to hope that you can get that south of $10 million. Whether or not that will happen, I really have no idea here. But I think you're seeing a lot of court of public opinion. K-State's losing, and I get it. I understand. People hate, hey, if you sign this big contract, the school should have to suffer for it. And I don't even really disagree with that. I would just say I think the reality is if you look at the language of the contract and conduct that turns the school or the coach into an embarrassment, I'm paraphrasing there, but I think there's some contract language that at least seems like there's a viable enough argument to muck it up a bit here. And again, it's not a totally uncommon thing. K-State is far from the first, and they won't be the last to try and do this. So I roll my eyes a little bit at it, especially at those that are trying to say, oh, this will affect who K-State's going to be able to hire next. I can tell you behind the scenes, I don't think that's going to affect anything at all. I think there is some legitimate interest in the job, and I think everybody kind of understands this is the deal. And new coaches are not coming in here thinking, well, if I suck in 3 years, they're going to try and stiff me on my buyout. Nobody that's a high achiever like that is thinking in that manner. So I do think some of it's a little bit overblown, but if you're K-State, you just let it blow over the next 24 to 48 hours, get to the next news cycle, and you'll be okay.
Speaking of John Kurtz, if you're a Big 12 fan, and there's, of course, a lot of people here in the KC area, you got to follow John. He has got a newsletter it's not Big 10 SEC bias stuff. It's all Big 12 stuff. So if you're a Big 12 fan, give John a follow. John, I was kind of going to go there with the next question is, it's interesting. Jeff Goodman had put this out with Field of 68, the job rankings, but this is not just a random ranking. This is coaches in the conference ranking the jobs in the Big 12. Of course, we know is the best college basketball conference in the country, and K-State's right there in the middle at 9. I think to that point, it doesn't feel like with the fan support and everything like that, this is a bad job. Is there a direction that you think they go with this new hire that they're looking? Are they looking for somebody with more experience at a mid-major school? Are they going with a bigger name? Are they going to try to shoot for somebody, or are they going to go for maybe an assistant coach? Probably not. I would stay away from that if I were them. But is there a direction you get a feel for that Taylor and that athletic department are gonna navigate towards with who's going to be the next coach for Kansas State men's basketball?
Yeah, I would give you two names to watch out for. I think for sure it's going to be someone with head coaching experience. Jared Calhoun. I may be screwing up the first name. Last name's Calhoun. He's at Utah State. I'm learning these guys on the fly, but he's had a really successful tenure at Utah State the last couple of years. I think there's going to be some mutual interest there, and he'll be a hot name for some of these jobs that open this offseason. And the other one is Alan Huss, who was the head coach at High Point, had a great 2 years at High Point, and then returned to his alma mater, Creighton, to be the head coach in waiting to Greg McDermott. I think there's also some mutual interest there, and the interesting piece of that is like, okay, well, he's a Creighton alum that's in the Big East, head coach in waiting, like what's going on? I think you maybe we'll see, but you could be dealing with a similar situation to what happened with Kyle Whittingham at Utah, where they had Morgan Scalley ready to go as head coach in waiting, and Whittingham kept dragging his feet. All of a sudden wasn't really following the plan, wanted to stick around longer. Maybe then a coach gets antsy and wants to leave. Those are two names I would pay attention to early. I think Josh Schertz is another name that'll come up a lot, who's at St. Louis. I think he may be out of K-State's price range. I just think he's like the hot, popular mid-major name, and there's going to be a lot of interest in him. So I don't know if it's worth it to go down that road, pay whatever it would take to get him, and I don't know if he would have the interest anyway. One thing I would throw out about Alan Huss, too, he played high school basketball in North Kansas City. So he's got a local connection there. Those are kind of three names I've circled for right now. I do think the job is a pretty good job. 2 points I would make on that. One, if you're not a blue blood in the NIL environment, I don't think there's a whole lot that separates your power conference jobs anymore, because like tradition, facilities, some of these things that mattered more in the past are just equalized by who's going to pay the most money, like who's going to give the most in NIL support. And one thing that you cannot say, any of the K-State haters out there, everybody has made fun of K-State over the last 2 years for how much money has been wasted on NIL with Jerome Tang's rosters. There's been a huge story. Coleman Hawkins, the $2 million deal a couple of years ago, Jeff Goodman saying they had top 5 NIL money, and I mean, I can corroborate that, and they go out and miss the tournament. Okay, the money was the story. They gave them a ton of money this past year. Again, top 15 to 20 NIL. They had the PJ Haggerty thing where they gave him $2 million plus, and that was widely publicized, a huge get in the transfer portal. Point being, Jerome Tang did not use it wisely, but K-State stepped up. Like K-State has proven, if you come to this job and prove yourself, we will give you the financial resources to compete at the highest level of the sport. I mean, that's another part of why, I don't know that I even mentioned that, with why Tang went downhill so fast. People have such a bad taste in their mouth because K-State gave him so much damn money to work with to build the roster. So there's a lot of support there. And the other thing about the K-State job is each of the last 3 coaches to coach here, Frank Martin, Bruce Weber, Jerome Tang, have all been to a regional final. They have all been able to get to an Elite 8. And there have been 2 Big 12 championships won in that time, too, by Bruce Weber. So it's been a place where multiple coaches in this new modern era, which I define as post-Bob Huggins K-State basketball, every coach that's come through has been able to win at a pretty high level. So there's proof positive that you can win there, and there's very well-publicized proof that K-State will step up with NIL support if you are a coach that earns it.
John, talking to John Kurtz here. You can find him on Twitter at J Kurtz. You can subscribe to his newsletter as well, Open for Business. John, what kind of coach should Kansas State be looking for, both stylistically and within their career? Because you're talking about, the money that they spent on Tang. They swung for the fences. Is that going to kind of make them gun shy in this next hire and maybe try and find that bridge guy before they and kind of recoup some money and kind of get these donors kind of more keen to the idea of swinging for the fences again? Is that going to change kind of where they go here?
Well, it's a fair question. You do have some interesting dynamics at play here where Colin Klein just got hired, right? Yep. As your head football coach. It's a critical time for the football program. And he needs all the support that he can get there. And K-State, I think, is upping, what they're doing there. He's just coming from the SEC, so he's seen what it takes from a resource standpoint. He's got a bigger staff than what Chris Kleiman had, so I think K-State's probably having to pony up a little bit more for some of the support staff there. And football deserves your full attention. So that will start to take priority here. I'm sure there are donors that have been involved here. Tang did a lot of the fundraising himself, which was an interesting piece of this, which you have to give him credit for that. The flip side to that is, like, I'm sure a lot of donors feel like really personally burned by him. Now, I don't know how that's going to affect what they would do to the next guy. Will they be more hesitant to do that? Does he, will it take longer to earn trust? Will they just say, hey, that was that guy. I will still support the school here. I don't totally know that. I guess the point was everybody rallied around Jerome Tang and supported him once he had that first year. So if a new coach comes in and proves himself, I think you would get that support. But it is very fair to point out, hey, could be a little touchy at first there. And as far as making the next hire, I just see them fishing in the same pool kind of no matter what. I think they were always with this hire going to have to be in the, kind of your up-and-coming mid-major type of coach hire here. Basically the same pool that they were fishing in last time when they pulled Jerome Tang is, kind of the opposite end of that pool is a high major assistant that's been around for a while. The only thing I would say is, like, I do think K-State kicked the tires on Brad Underwood last time around, and he teased them a little bit and may have used that as some leverage to get a better deal at Illinois. Ultimately, I don't think was ever going to come, even as enticing as it was to even hear that there was some level of conversation happening there. That's definitely not going to happen for a number of reasons. I don't think Brad Underwood would ever leave at this point, but also even if he were going to, that's the type of hire that, like, yeah, I don't think K-State has the money to go out and make some big time hire like that happen. So yeah, if you're a K-State fan, I would not get the hopes up about the prodigal son coming home and in Brad Underwood from Illinois. Yep. But I think as far as who they're going to hire, I don't think money is going to be an obstacle there to pull in one of those guys in the kind of tier that I just rattled off for you.
Is there a direction that, from what, obviously in your time covering, is there a, not necessarily a background, John, but a style of recruiting and team building? And, we've seen, obviously, Jerome Tang go through the portal and try the portal stuff out. And the portal stuff can be hit or miss. Obviously, in football and basketball, building a team is a little bit differently. But there's, to me at least, it seems like there's some risk in building your team through the portal where you're going and getting a Coleman Hawkins, you're relying on a PJ Haggerty. And if it hits, it looks great and you're a genius. If it doesn't, then you look really bad. And it kind of goes the way that we've seen K-State hoops go here the last two seasons. Would you like to see the new head coach attack maybe the more high school development side of things with some of that NIL money that you get to get bigger or better names from a talent standpoint, as opposed to the biggest name in the portal that might just be, the star flashy name?
I think there definitely needs to be a better balance for sure. And the ironic thing about it is that last year, after K-State lost at home to Houston by 30, which was one of the 7 worst home losses in Bramlage Coliseum history, which Jerome Tang owns 3 of them now. After that game, Tang at the podium said, well, we probably need to go more the Houston model, which is more of development, culture. And they sprinkle in some from the portal, obviously, too, but they've done a lot more like internally high school recruiting and stuck with that. And so everybody thought, like, okay, there's a lesson learned. You spent big with the Coleman Hawkins stuff. It didn't work. Now you're going to go try that route. And then they turned the entire roster over again and did it all over again in the portal the same way with similar and actually worse results. So there seemed to be like a realization of, yeah, that actually is probably what we need to do. And then they didn't follow through with that. I think the next coach will need to. And I think you look at a program like Iowa State, that's the model. Like Iowa State has hit on some pieces in the transfer portal too, but they've also had, Taman Lipsey feels like he's been around there forever. Like the core of that team, Jefferson, Mihailovic, like those guys have been around for a while. So TJ Otzelberger, I think, is like I would kind of put him on a pedestal of like, that's the program that you would want to look at and say, this is really what we should be. It's what we should aspire to be. And I think K-State is in a much better financial situation than Iowa State, quite frankly, to be able to maintain something like that. So that should be the goal. And I would imagine that the next coach that you bring in there is going to try and shoot for something more like that.
Would you have made this decision?
Well, from Jerome Tang needed to be fired.
Okay.
First and foremost, yes, he did. I think the hard part is how do you handle the money? If you're asking me, would I have gone forward with hey, we're going to fire you for
purely
cause?
Purely basketball. It was time. That was basically the question, right? It was time.
Oh yeah. Purely basketball, yes, because it's not just basketball. Like I said, people behind the scenes were fed up.
Mm-hmm.
Fans were fed up. You had fans already with bags on their heads at the last game. They were already pushing around AI images of the entire arena being filled, trying to promote it for the game against Baylor tomorrow, which, by the way, is very interesting. The K-State plays Baylor in Manhattan tomorrow with Jerome Tang, former Baylor assistant, just getting fired. That'll be an interesting scene to watch play out. But anyway, yeah, it needed to happen, I think, on multiple different fronts. I was not looking forward to what the rest of the season was going to look like. You were holding your breath every time Jerome Tang was behind a microphone now. You were holding a breath every time the team went out on the court at home to play a home game because they were just getting beat down historically every time they went out there. So, yes, I do think it needed to happen, yeah.
John Kurtz, thank you so much for taking the time, John. Again, those who are interested in John Kurtz newsletter, open for business. You can give him a follow at JL Kurtz on Twitter, newsletter, Big 12, K-State, of course, as well. John, thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it.
Thanks, John.
Hey, anytime, guys. Great to talk to you.
Good to talk to John as well. Obviously, some good stuff. There's very few people who are in the know as much as John is. And again, he's got the Open for Business newsletter. I'm subscribed to it. It's not just K-State stuff. If you're a KU fan, it's Big 12 related things as well for those who are tired of hearing SEC Big 10 stuff from
I feel bad. I was
people.
totally missing the L in the handle. I was saying J Kurtz, JL Kurtz. Good job. Yeah, my bad on that. Yeah, I watched his live last night on Twitter. He does great stuff, man. Great stuff. Really good information.
College sports, baby. There is like in the NFL, firing for cause because they talk bad about the team. You would not see this in professional sports. That's another reason why you can hear me. And college sports are the best. The best. You get the weirdest things. You get the funkiest things. You get the best things in college sports. Up next, we ran a little long with John, which is no problem because John obviously was great. Very fun conversation. We might talk some local college basketball, not K-State related, but KU related as well. Darren Peterson, worst game as a Jayhawk. KU got beat bad in Ames. What does that mean going forward? And our thoughts for can KU win it all? We'll talk about that next and more as we got about 40 minutes left on the Mac Drew and JT show right here on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to Mac Maury, Drew Nixon, and JT Noah on Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Whether you're commuting to work or heading out for a fast coffee break, getting an auto insurance quote is just a tap away. With AAA, you're always connected, so you can focus on the road ahead. Rest easy knowing AAA's got you covered, no matter where life takes you. AAA, we're always with you. To start your quote, visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we are improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com. And I look forward to working with you.
Hey guys, it's Rob Brennan from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the upcoming World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Dana & Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch, KC features the biggest names who helped make the World Cup in Kansas City possible. And there was a lot of work, plus the major storylines heading into this summer's tournament.
This is so much more. This isn't just a podcast about soccer.
No, you're right, Rob. It's a podcast about Kansas City, for Kansas City, telling the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, along with video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
So make sure you subscribe. Download Beyond the Pitch KC with Rob Brennan and myself, Scott Parks, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Have you ever wanted to go to the NBA Finals? Well, now's your chance, courtesy of our friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. All you need to do is use your profit boost on an NBA future, and you'll be entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for two. NBA Futures, lock in your pick on who you think is going to go all the way, whether it's a team to win the championship or win the Western or Eastern Conference. Maybe you think that San Antonio is going to upset OKC out west. Maybe you got any idea who's going to come out of the Eastern Conference. Maybe you like Boston with the possible return of Jason Tatum. Whatever your bet is for the future, visit FanDuel.com/local to get started. Remember, play your game with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. No purchase necessary. Limit 1 entry. 4 profit boost token. Opt-in required. Must apply profit boost token on select market. Restrictions apply. See full terms, including methods of entry at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Mac Maury, and I wanted to let you know that I've started a new social media series called Mac's Minute. Real original, right? It gets released every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on our station's Instagram and Twitter accounts, plus YouTube Shorts. I'll give you my best take in 60 seconds on the biggest stories in sports and Kansas City. Make sure to follow on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe on YouTube. Watch Mac's Minute every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on our social media platforms. This is Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to Mac Maury, Drew Nixon, and JT Noah on Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Advent Health welcomes the KC Golf Show February 27th through March 1st at the Overland Park Convention Center. Test drive golf's big brands, shop 100 exhibits, and swing and putt for prizes. Front door rounds of golf and tickets at kansascitygolfshow.com.
Sex, intimacy, love. These 3 things are critical to a good relationship, and that's the problem with erectile dysfunction. It often destroys sexual enjoyment and intimacy. It stresses the love between partners, often to the breaking point. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with ED, you likely know exactly what I'm talking about. But I also want you to know that ED doesn't have to impact your relationship anymore. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts, with our focus on men's sexual health. We've treated tens of thousands of men and have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. I promise you, if you're like most guys, you can get your sex life back, perhaps even performing like you haven't in years. So if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to better sex, better intimacy, and deeper love. Call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hey, it's Rob Brennan from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And Rob, I'm Scott Parks from Dana & Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC will feature the biggest names who made the World Cup in Kansas City possible. Plus, the biggest storylines heading into this summer's tournament. This is not a podcast about soccer. Don't get us wrong. This is a podcast about Kansas City. This is a podcast for Kansas City. And this is a podcast that'll tell the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes will be released every Wednesday starting on March 4th, as well as video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ's social channels.
Subscribe and download to Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series with myself and Rob Bretton on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement. Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
When it's time to replace your appliances, Lowe's has you covered. Get up to 40% off select major appliances. And members get more like free delivery, haul away, basic installation and parts, and a 2-year Lowe's protection plan when you spend $2,500 or more on select major appliances. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 2/25 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Excludes Massachusetts, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Jersey, Florida. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
Half hour left. Drew Nixon, Mac Morey, JT Noah, Jay Binkley, who is more fired up to talk about Tyreek Hill than I ever could be, will be live here in about a half hour following up the three of us with Jackson as well. They'll be taking you from 2 to 5.
Lots of cheetah talk on the way.
Dude, we also, we're going to, for those of you who are like, what in the world are you talking about, who haven't seen the news, Tyreek Hill has been released by the Miami Dolphins, and Bink made sure to come in and make sure that Mac and I, to tell us what Mac and I had already kind of discussed, not over the air, but in passing, is that, well, Tyreek Hill could technically sign today. What if he signed with the team today? We'll talk about him in just a second, but getting back to the college basketball angle, outside of Kansas State, of course, in the Jerome Tang news, Kansas, big game, massive game against Iowa State. Not necessarily a benchmark in how we view them because we've seen what they can be, but it was one in a tough environment. How do they look? Ames was ready for KU, as you can imagine, a great college basketball environment. And TJ Otzelberger had his guys ready to go. They locked down Darren Peterson, his worst game as a Jayhawk, essentially.
3 of 10.
Was not very good. Had a hard time even just getting open. They made it very uncomfortable for him. If there was a 101 lesson in how to disrupt, of course, you got to have the guys. But Iowa State gave a good lesson in how you can try to limit Darren Peterson and what he does. And the Jayhawks didn't play very well at all. They got ran out of the building. Does this change how I view them going forward? No, because we see this in college basketball, not necessarily from the standpoint of teams getting blown out, but sometimes it's not your night, and guys don't answer the bell. And this is one of those moments it felt like where they started off well. It was very much a defensive battle. It seemed like the first team to 60 would win. Ironically, the only team that got to 60, of course, did win the game, and that was Iowa State. It's one of those things that you live and you learn, and I think this is just one of those things you toss up to college basketball. Tough environment on the road. It happens. Learned our lesson. Beat them previously. They beat us this time. Let's move on. This doesn't make me think that KU can't win the national title because of this game. I think that'd be way too outlandish of a take to have.
We do the whole overreaction thing all the time in sports. This was a loss. They did not play well. They got their asses kicked. Sometimes it's pretty simple, though.
It's almost good to have that happen sometimes, too.
Well, for sure, there's that angle. But KU was coming off their best win on the season, right? One of the best wins of the whole college basketball season, beating the number 1 team without your best player at home. Awesome, right? Well, Iowa State was coming off of one of their worst losses of the season to TCU, I believe it was.
The energy was going to be there.
So and they were at home.
Yep.
So they were coming off of something that they needed to correct. KU was coming in maybe a little cocky, maybe sniffing their own junk a little bit. And it came back to bite them. And also, it is difficult to play with one guy there and then he's not there. They're going to have to figure out how to play with Darren Peterson, just like they have now figured out how to play without him. They've looked really good with and without Darren Peterson. It's just the turn on, turn off, hot and cold sort of thing. Is he in? Is he out? I think he's going to be in more consistently as this season carries on. I don't think this is going to be a big deal for KU, and I still feel really good about my 19-1 bet for them to win the national title. I think this is a team
did bet that.
Oh, yes. I think this is a team that goes...
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you had a whole Max Minute about
it. Heck yeah.
Shout out to Max Minute.
Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, baby. Just posted it on Twitter. Or I think I did. I don't know if I pressed the post. It'll be out in the next couple minutes. Either way, I just don't think this is going to be a story that we talk about. Again, like Darren Peterson and KU are good. Darren Peterson's a great basketball player. He had a bad game. KU's a great basketball team. They didn't play well, and they were disjointed. And it's tough to get together when you're not playing together as consistently as you should, and they will do that as the season carries on. 913, AJ DeBanza is better than DP now, right? Right now, I guess? No.
I don't think so.
No.
I
No
think
way.
I think it is still very much a DP first overall, AJ DeBanza second overall, and then from there probably Cam Boozer, and then from there it continues to go to Wagler and the others. I'm interested to see the response from this, because this was not what I was looking for, but I do think this is an interesting dynamic of how effective is Darren Peterson when he's not able to play well. I think that is not necessarily how NBA GMs judge players, because I don't think that's how they judge it. They judge off of talent. What do they have? I think Darren Peterson is the most talented player in the country. That's why he's going to go first overall, in my opinion. Dickie V thinks that AJ DeBanza is going to get picked for first overall. I heard him say that when they were on the Duke broadcast. Dickie V.
Okay.
But I understand why you might like AJ DeBanza as much, if not more, than Darren. I understand that, but to me, it's Darren Peterson. I don't think it affects them, but I will say from this standpoint is one thing going forward I would be interested in seeing now is when it gets to tournament time, forget the Big 12 tournament. We know that they're going to be in the dance, KU is. If Darren Peterson is limited, like they play Houston, extremely good defensive team. Always have been. Kelvin Sampson's bread and butter. That's what they do. They make you uncomfortable. Very good defenders. Can Darren Peterson find other ways to be effective outside of just scoring? Remind me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you have the box score at Mac, but I believe it was a 10-point, 0 rebound, 0 assist game for Darren Peterson. He
didn't have any. Yeah.
They removed him from the game almost entirely.
Yep. I think he had a couple turnovers as well.
I'm in that. That's what intrigues me as a college basketball fan, and even I think a KU fan, because you'd be more into it, of course, if you're a KU fan and watching that team play. Is this team capable of overcoming Darren? We know that they can when he's not playing, because we've seen that. If he's having an off night, can you put it together? Is that something that maybe it was just an off night? I chalk it up to more of that as well. But when it comes down to the tournament, if they're in the Elite Eight this year and Darren is struggling from the field because the other team is affecting him a lot, is there a way that Darren can make a play for other guys? Is there a way that you can I think, and Bill Self is a good enough coach where that can happen. That's what I'm intrigued by most as a college basketball fan watching. As it pertains to the draft stock, Darren Peterson is that dude. From the 816, Peterson is a score-only player. James Harden, team killer, proves it every time he's out there. To a point, yes. James Harden also, by the way, he was a triple-double machine. So I think people forget that a little bit about James Harden.
One of the best passers.
I don't know if Darren Peterson is a triple-double machine, but that dude is like a KD go and get buckets type of.
He's a scorer.
He will feed you. He will feed you buckets, and I think that's obviously what he does best. Which is why I think he's considered to be of that ilk of a player.
But you're right. If he is not scoring the basketball, he's going to have to find other ways to produce.
How effective can he be? And I don't know if that's NBA. I don't think NBA scouts are looking at that. To be honest with you, but as a college basketball fan, somebody who's watching Kansas play and is intrigued by how they do, if you're on a bad game, you got to find a way to help your team a little bit. I think that's what makes it fun going forward, at least, and following.
I think Bill Self will figure out how the whole team needs to react, because let's be clear, that whole team, Darren Peterson's bad. The whole team looked rough. They looked stagnant. They looked frozen. There wasn't a flow.
Trey White was dealing with he had a dental procedure. He had a root canal, they said, during the week. I'm not saying that's an excuse. I
mean, that's tough.
But I'm going to say, you're playing through that. Trey White did not have a good game, and that's a difficult thing. That is no excuse. But part of the deal probably was affecting him a little bit. I'm not saying that's the reason they lost, nor should it be. But it was a bad game all around from everybody. And it showed.
And like DP's getting double teamed, and there's no one else cutting. It's stagnant. There's no one else getting open. There's not plays being run. So they weren't ready. They faced a formidable opponent that was away from their own home court. And they're going to have to figure out some sort of consistency with playing as a full roster and a full team with DP being a part of it. And they will. I just don't think this is let's have a referendum on who KU is and if they're good or better with or without DP. Hey, let's make this again, we make sports so difficult. Is Kansas better with the great basketball player on their team? Yes, they are. Yeah, they're better with the elite scorer on their team. Yes, I believe so.
From the A16, Westbrook was the triple-double machine, not Harden. True, but I do think James Harden.
Fine.
Look,
yes, we get it.
Look,
he filled the box score.
Let me give you his numbers, by the way. James Harden has not ever averaged a triple-double. Sure. That does not mean he never got triple-doubles. That man averaged double-digit assists on a regular basis, as well as 20-plus points. He was a double-double machine, sure, as well as being capable of getting triple-doubles. We haven't seen that from Darren Peterson, I don't think, because Darren Peterson is not James Harden. Darren Peterson is Tracy McGrady, Kevin Durant, that type of player.
Yep.
Some people compare him to Kobe. I think it's a fair comp and style of play. In terms of the player, we don't know that yet, but style of play,
it's all comp is.
Darren Peterson is of the style of play of KD, Kobe, T-Mac.
Michael Jordan, yes.
I'm not going to give you, I might give you 2 or 3, I might give you 4 or 5 assists a game on average, but I'm going to give you 25 night in and night out at an efficient clip.
Yes.
I would also say I felt like this was a recipe for a game where Kansas would drop. You just played Arizona. You beat them at Allen Fieldhouse.
Yes.
You go to Iowa State. And listen, Iowa State isn't like, oh, hey, guys, they're ranked 20th. No, they're going to be a top 4 seed.
They're top 5 in the country.
Exactly. And
top
guess what?
In the country.
Iowa State just lost to TCU. They have Kansas. They also have BYU and Houston in the next week. It's not like, oh, hey, guess what? They lost a game. This was a must-win. If they lose this, they could potentially lose 4 straight. They go out there, they protect their home court. Now they get Houston tonight. Guess what? I'm taking Houston to win because guess what? You just played a tough game. Now Houston gets to play. It's an ever battle situation in the Big 12. Last year was the SEC where everyone was battling each other. This year the Big 12 was back to being the Big 12, and I think you're just going to have punch for punch great games every night.
I think that's what makes, for Kansas' sake, real quick before we get to Tyreek Hill, the conversation of KU beating Arizona was really impressive to me is because Arizona's got all that size, and not that KU doesn't, but they don't have as much size from the perspective of being able to dominate the paint, rebounds, and all these other things. So I think it was in the game. They ended up winning against TCU, but they were giving up so many extra opportunities. Like you look in the game, I remember Iowa State, offensive rebounds on a regular basis. If you want to beat Kansas, like if you can out-rebound the Jayhawks and force them into some turnovers and make them uncomfortable, it feels like that's the recipe to ultimately beating them. I know that they found a way to win that the TCU game, but if you can, there's been games where they've been caught in either they almost lost like that TCU game or other ones like the Iowa State game where they did lose. If they're struggling to be able to stop you and get rebounds after that, if you're getting those extra opportunities, that's where you can kind of get caught out a little bit more compared to some of the other teams. Flory's been very good, of course, as well.
Great. Yeah, Bryson Tiller kind of had his
he's
first.
Definitely come on and become the 5-star guy that people thought he was.
He's the second best NBA player on that KU team. That he had his first moment of the lights being a bit too bright. And then this weekend against Iowa State, right? There were moments where it was like, hey, dude, you're moving too quickly. You're playing rush. Yeah, it was consecutive good games. It was turning over the ball, bad shot selection, things like that. But he's a freshman who will stay another year at KU. And then I think, in my opinion, from this KU team right now, he's the second best NBA player on it. I really do. He's 6'9", 6'10", can guard multiple positions, shoots the three, decent passer, at least from the looks of it. It looks like his IQ is going to be solid and grow. I like Tiller. I think Tiller's exactly today's sort of NBA.
I'm going to say this, and obviously people are going to hate on me because I'm not a KU fan. But
yeah, none of us are.
Darren Peterson, sure, is the best player on Kansas's team. That's no question. But I think the MVP and the most valuable player on that team is Melvin
Council. Yeah,
because the way he's made that team actually fun to watch. Like last year, everyone hated that team. Whether it be because of Hunter Dickinson or whatnot, they weren't fun to watch. This team, even if they don't make the Final Four, I think KU fans can go, that was actually fun to watch this year. We weren't dreading to watch a game. We were actually having fun watching them. And I like Rory. I think he's a nice big guy who's came on and he's developed under Bill Self. That's what you need to have happen. And I'm glad he stayed. I know he was getting poached around in the offseason, but he said he wanted to stay. And that was a smart move by him to stay with Bill Self.
Yeah, this team has a fun chemistry. They actually like playing basketball together. It's their smiles, they're dancing, they're making fun of K-State when they beat them.
They were in the stands after beating Arizona. You don't see that with Bill Self. I
no,
mean, that was awesome.
And Melvin Council, I mean, he's exactly what you want in college sports. This is a guy who was playing JUCO. He was at JUCO, St. Bonaventure, worked his way up and made his way to KU in his 4th year now in college, I believe it is. And yeah, he's a star. He's a star. He'll have a chance to play at the next level now, especially overseas. Really, really fun player to watch and just a blur on the court. Yeah, I say we take a break and we talk some Tyreek Hill because I'm telling you what, Drew,
You want to break and then come back with a Tyreek Hill and then a random question? Because I think it wouldn't be, it wouldn't be like a Cody and Gold sort of like time slot without an out of left field question. And believe me, this one is out of left field.
Okay.
That
good.
comes next on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to Mac Maury, Drew Nixon, and JT Noah on Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Call Hamilton today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 5-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
2025 Top Volume Award. Rob, how did you do it?
Kevin, it's simple. We pulled out all the stops on price, on trade values, on inventory, and made sure our customers got an experience they couldn't find anywhere else.
Well, the race isn't over. 2026 is here, and you're back in the chase again.
That's right, and we're going even harder this year. More inventory, more aggressive trade-in values, and a buying experience other dealers just can't match.
Well, you're not just talking, you've got the receipts. Kansas City's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google, 4.8 stars with nearly 3,000 reviews. Voted best car dealership in Kansas City by KC Magazine.
The recognition matters, but what actually matters is how you feel when you call or visit Rob Site Ford.
Inventory, value, transparency, and no pressure. That's why people keep coming back.
Come see us at 135th and State Line or visit us online at robsight.com.
Rob Site Ford. Buy right. Drive happy.
Hey guys, this is Rob Brennan from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the upcoming World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Dana and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC features the biggest names who helped make the World Cup in Kansas City possible. And there was a lot of work, plus the major storylines heading into this summer's tournament.
This is so much more. This isn't just a podcast about soccer.
No, you're right, Rob. It's a podcast about Kansas City, for Kansas City, telling the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, along with video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
So make sure you subscribe. Download Beyond the Pitch KC with Rob Brennan and myself, Scott Parks, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
One more segment left to go. Drew Nixon, Mac Maury, JT Noah producing the show. It's been a fun little 3 hours. It always goes fast, Mac, I feel like it always is a very...
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, time. Thanks,
No,
Mom.
it really does.
Hey, watch it, dweebs.
No, yeah, we did get called dweebs earlier. No, we had some good discussion with John Kurtz.
I got called a lot of
K-State.
things this weekend, dude.
Yeah, whatever. The text line, guys, be nice.
No, it wasn't
to
even from the
Drew.
text. I was social media. I was a K-State backer this weekend.
Well, they do. Yeah, they do pay you.
Well,
just kidding.
I was a K-State backer. You should check out the 249 Miles of College Football podcast, by the way. Another
Absolutely.
episode coming out on Wednesday. We're going every other week now that the season is over with, but a lot of fun stuff planned for the summer.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Real quick, before we get to the out of left field question, I want to talk Tyreek Hill. Actually, you know what? I don't want to. I'm sorry. I should have rephrased that. I feel like I should because Mac would like try to strangle me or something if we didn't talk about Tyreek Hill again on the show. I would love to
second
avoid
or
it.
first biggest story right now in Kansas City
But
sports.
Tyreek Hill was released by the Dolphins. Yay, nay. It seems like the text line earlier was mixed on reviews.
I'm open to it. I'm open to discussions for sure. I'm open
for
to,
like the right price point. Is that the reasoning?
Yeah, obviously it
Or the
depends
main-
on what
the
the
main
price is.
driver
You know,
of
Binkley's thinking he's getting $15-20 million. I just don't think, and obviously you'll be listening to him and Jackson for the next 3 hours, everyone. He'll be live 2 to 5. Our guy, Jay Binkley.
How much college basketball are there? Is Bink
Yeah,
talking?
I don't think
He's
that's
so
not
happy.
what
He's
this
like, oh my
is.
God, Tyreek Hill was released. I don't have to talk about this college
Yeah,
basketball stuff.
he's pumped. No, and that's great. Listen, and he's talking about the drops and all this stuff, and I just think he's talking about the money too. I think it's going to be less money, and I think there's a lot of benefits to have Tyreek Hill potentially joining this roster. But I'm not going to die on the hill and be like, oh, why aren't they getting Tyreek Hill? I'd be fine with him getting Mike Evans. I just think a veteran wide receiver could do a lot for this team.
I'd rather Mike Evans drastically than Tyreek Hill, and I think a lot of it is just the driver of the knee injury. I understand the running back nature of this team. I understand the he's the best wide receiver ever in Chiefs history. I understand that how good he could be, but the leg injury was so gruesome that not that he can't be a good player, but I feel like you can get more from Mike Evans maybe in a style that they don't currently have. Where if you get Tyreek Hill, I understand that he's better than Rashee Rice in terms of all of these other things and Xavier Worthy, but stylistically, it's a different player if you get Mike Evans, and I think that he can, bring more to the table, at least at this point, and that's just my opinion.
Mike Evans.
He technically is
red
able to
zone
play.
threat. Let me throw the ball up to Mike Evans.
JT, for that exact reason, I'm all for Mike Evans. The problem though is they don't.
They don't do it. They don't do it. I know.
I would kill Mac. I would kill, and I'm not even a Chiefs fan, to watch a game where they could get down to the 5-yard line, and it is everybody knows where the ball is going, but it doesn't matter. It's an Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams situation. My man, I just need you to run to the pylon. I'm going to throw you back shoulder, and it's going to be money every single time. Can Patrick Mahomes make that throw? If you think he's the best quarterback in the league, then you think he can make the throw.
He better be able to. Good Lord.
Yeah, I mean,
And I think that Mike
everyone
Evans is that
should
sort
think
of-
he's the best quarterback in the league because
so-
he is.
so I
Also, the
believe
goal line
that-
fade is one of the worst plays in football, so I don't really want to predicate my red zone
it's
offense
not when it's
on a
automatic.
goal line fade.
It's not when it's
On a
automatic.
jump ball.
No, it's not even a jump ball. The back shoulder fade.
Yeah, the back shoulder fade is one of my least favorite plays in football.
But if it
Yes,
works as
absolutely.
much at the clip of Aaron Rodgers and Devontae, that was automatic. A touchdown.
Back in
It can be that way.
First of all, I don't even really remember the back shoulder fade specifically with them. Obviously, I can picture it.
Devontae ran to that pylon, and Aaron Rodgers threw it right on a dime.
I think
every
they,
single time
they ran
You could
everything
book
on a
it.
dime. That was one of the best duos in NFL history. 1, 2, that was 7 years ago. And Mike Evans is 33 or 34. That's not happening right now. You're talking about prime Devontae Adams. I don't think Mike Evans is close to that. I think Mike Evans would still be a red zone target. I'm not trying to say that, but I'm just saying, I'm not picking Mike Evans over Tyreek Hill because of a goal line fade. Tyreek Hill has scored a lot of touchdowns as well.
And I understand that. It didn't matter though. If they had when they had Devontae Hopkins or DeAndre Hopkins, they didn't use him that way either.
Yeah, that was frustrating.
Which I didn't understand.
Yeah, I'd like to use guys'
You've got a
size
player
and
that-
throw a ball up, but I think we can do. The goal line fade is a discussion now. I just don't like that play. It's a bad play. It's a very low percentage play.
Oh, hey, you know what? It might have actually helped the Chiefs' offense be a little bit better in that area.
No, better play calling,
I
better
think
schematics, and better
that's part
personnel
of it.
would have helped the Chiefs' offense be better. Not a goal line fade and having a 6'4" wide
you
receiver.
are one of the best players in NFL history at going up and getting the football. I'm going to let you cook. And it never happened. I think Mike Evans is the same thing. I'm going to throw this ball up, and I'm going to be in a position where either you're going to draw that PI or you're going to catch a touchdown.
The let you cook philosophy, I am down with, and I do think the Chiefs'
That's not
offense
Andy Reid,
does
though.
need a little bit more of that.
I think
It
we
is.
know.
It's not fair. That's not true. That's not true. Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill have cooked. It's that Breaking Bad meme. Someone cooked here. Like, stop. They were the best wide receiver duo for multiple years in the NFL. Like, stop. That is Andy Reid. That's so disrespectful. I am totally on the Andy Reid criticism train, and it is that seat is warming, and there are expectations that need to be met, Drew. But miss me with the he's not that guy. He's one of the best offensive minds for a reason. Now, he
I
needs
wanna
to
see
get
it
better.
this year.
It's been a couple seasons since we have the productivity, but he can let people cook.
And maybe
he
that's
absolutely can let someone cook.
And maybe that's a what have you done for me lately?
Absolutely.
sort
That's
of
all I'm saying.
situation.
I think that's a recency bias thing. Like,
yeah, because I mean, look, Andy Reid is one of the best coaches in the NFL. Make no mistake about
Yes.
it. But I think from the standpoint of what have we seen lately,
absolutely,
you got to be able to adjust, and we haven't seen it. And again,
and the play calling's been
obviously-
bad. Schemes have been rough. I'm with you.
This obviously is a big year in terms of that because of all the changes they had with position coaches and all these other things. Where if it doesn't work out again, then we kind of know where it's going to head. But all right, out of left field question. We got 1 minute.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry.
1 minute.
I need
Sorry
this.
about
Come
that.
on, Drew.
Yo, Vern. All right, we don't need the music. All right, here we go. If animals could sue humans, which species would win the biggest lawsuit? I told you it was out of left field.
Whoa.
If animals could sue humans, which ones?
Man, I haven't been in the garage yet. This is
Which
crazy.
species would win the biggest lawsuit? I would say horses.
Give me the
Horse is a
pig,
good
man.
one.
The pig's getting slaughtered left and right for so much meat.
How about dogs? Dogs are smart as hell.
Mm.
We've got them laying down all day doing nothing.
Isn't that the
eating
cat?
dry food? No, dogs are smarter than cats.
No, isn't the cat the one that just lays down and does nothing?
Yeah, that's fair.
That's
a good question. I like that.
If I'm a cat, I'm actually kind of pissed because if you're a cat that lives on the farm, all you're using me for, dudes, is to kill these rats and stuff.
Dudes, come on, dudes.
I almost messed up and had to use the dump button right
Oh,
there.
that's great.
That's going to do it for us. JT, Magmori, I'm Drew Nixon. Y'all have a good one. Bink and Jackson up next. Cody and Gold will be back at this time slot tomorrow. The guys will all be back tomorrow.
Me, you won't be.
I will not be. I'll be off. Later, guys.
You're listening to Mac Maury, Drew Nixon, and JT Noah on Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.